the game, this will be one of their toughest tests. He's really impressed with Lincoln. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. They're not too different to the side that lost to Crawley 3-0, but Crawley are much changed, as we've seen. So it's going to be a very intriguing battle, I think.
Part of the Crawley side, with the injuries and the suspensions that Crawley currently have in place, almost picks itself, doesn't it? Ibrahim served his suspension last week, so it's good to see him back in the side. But you and I looked at the lineup when the team sheets came out sort of an hour or so ago, tried to work out exactly how they're going to play, because there is Barker, there's Malarkey, there's Mukaina, there's also
Tanamu on the right.
Tanamu as well, out there, possibly as a central defender. So Crawley, much like Lincoln, I've been told, might well play a back four as and when Lincoln are trying to come towards them.
I think they will, yeah, absolutely. When you've got a Nigerian international defender, you've got to play him in defence. I mean, he stood out on the right-hand side at the moment, so it looks like a back three, but when they defend, I'm sure that will become a back four.
Yeah.
Jeremy Kelly looks like he's playing in the centre of midfield, like he impressed against Rotherham last week as well.
We are off and underway here at the Broadfield Stadium. No change of ends after the toss of the coin between the two skippers, so Crawley playing the way that they like to play in the first half of games, defending the goal away to our right, and that Eden utility stand, and attacking the KRL logistics stand just away to our left hand side. The ball is with Barker tight on this near touchline, slides it down for Adeyemo, who's popped up in these early stages on this left hand side, draws the challenge in, ball goes out of play for what will be a Crawley Town throw. We talked before, Mark, about the game that was here in October, and that Crawley, yes, they got to the break goalless, but they'd sort of hung on a little bit, hadn't they, to go in goalless at the break, but then came out with a slight change in formation and sort of ran the second half really, and scored three very good breakaway goals.
They really did. It was it was really good. Like Rob Elliott said, Lincoln were an impressive side, and first half Crawley did. I don't know how they got in at 0-0, but yeah, they came out second half. Rob Elliott obviously clearly is willing to change his plans, and he did that game, and three brilliant goals, Darcy, Swan and Russian Hepburn Murphy that night.
Kelly makes an interception, gets it to John Jules just on the edge of the penalty area, just over the first minute played. Lincoln win it back though on the edge of their own box, opportunity to clear it, comes out to this near side, but it's charged down, but it won't be kept in play unfortunately by Tyrese John Jules, and it goes out of play. Crawley certainly making all the inroads at the moment though, Mark, pretty much all the game, as we played 90 seconds being played in the Lincoln half of the field, which is what you would want to see, isn't it? Take the game to the opposition.
Absolutely. Rob Elliott talks about being aggressive early on. What Crawley have struggled with is scoring early though, even despite domination, so it'd be great if they can get an early strike, and I'm excited to see Tyrese John Jules.
And here he is on the ball, getting the ball from Rolls, but he just loses out on the edge of the box, and then the referee deems that he was just a little bit over exuberant in his attempts to try and win the ball back. And referee Mr Gill, who has refereed two previous Crawley fixtures that Crawley have won both times, Mark, if you want to believe in any sort of fortuity or anything like that, then the referee in the two previous times that he has refereed Crawley have won both the games. But we just ticked over the 2 minute mark, and of course Crawley got into this second round courtesy of a late winner from Tola Shiwanmi away at Maidenhead in round one in extra time. Of course, a late goal by the man battling away for the ball, Toby Malarkey, to take it to extra time on that afternoon at York Road. Crawley emerging 2-1 victors. Hamilton gets the ball into Arahan, who plays it out to that left hand side. Opportunity for Rowan to play the ball into the box. It comes right across its near side. Barker does a decent bit of defending, and in the end it was the number 27 Makama coming in on this near side, who maybe should have done a little bit better. Rowan was allowed to play the ball in from that far side, Mark, and Barker, as we've said before, and we spoke to him, both of us, after the game last week, exceptional performances in the last couple of weeks, was there to save his side once again. He's
been absolutely exceptional. It was a really good ball into the back, into the far post, missed in the middle, and then Makama should have probably done better, but Barker did enough, and like you say, he's been outstanding last few weeks since he's come into the side.
First corner kick of the afternoon then goes the way of the Imps, just away to our right hand side. Rowan is spotting the ball up, just trying to keep it on the tip of that D, right hand up in the air to ping it in, left footed, goes towards the near post. There's Barker again to win the first header, gets it out towards this near side. It's Darikwa who's chasing it down, lost it back forward again. Rowan has kept himself onside, chasing it back again. Kelly and Barker do just about enough to get it clear, and in the end Barker is happy to just see the ball go out of play, and Crawley, I guess, importantly, Mark, withstand the first sort of onslaught from Lincoln if Lincoln are trying to get the breakthrough early. Crawley did well, Barker defended it well again as the corner kick came in, and all that results is a goal kick.
Absolutely, and that's what they've done really well in the whole of November. We know they've kept 3 clean sheets out of the last 4 in the league, and it's been down to Barker, Malarkey, Mukaina. They've been playing really well together as a back three.
Yep.
And that's what they've got to do. They've got to stop an early goal from Lincoln, and then do what they did last time they played them.
Here's Tanimu over on the far side into the feet of Jeremy Kelly. Malarkey gets it in to Mukaina, who will surely come out to this near side for Barker, and Barker helps it on. One more for Ibrahim, and Crawley have worked it well from the right hand side out to this left hand side. In the end it goes back to Barker, who goes back to Beach, and he plays it forward to Jeremy Kelly just outside the penalty area. 4.5 minutes played. Emirates FA Cup round 2. Crawley 0, Lincoln 0 on this Saturday afternoon sports special for you. Full match coverage here. We are dipping into the games at Woking and at Dorking throughout the course of the afternoon as well, when we get the opportunity in the National League and also in the National League South, as Ibrahim plays it in field to John Jules, who came a little bit deep, tried to play it down the line, but it was intercepted by Hamilton. He tries to get it around the outside of Barker. Makama does well just to pick it up on this near side, being shepherded almost down to the corner. Does he run it out of play? Did Barker get something on it? Well, it hadn't gone out of play, says the assistant referee, who was right on top of things. And Barker's touch takes it out for what will be the second corner kick of the afternoon. Crawley worked it well though, Mark, from one side of the pitch to the other, and tried to just find that final probing ball through the Lincoln defensive line. John Jules just showing a little bit too much of it in the end to Hamilton, who was able to sort of pinch it and set Lincoln off on the counter-attack. He was, yeah. It was just a bit of a poor touch from John Jules, but like we say, he hasn't had a lot of match practice in the last 10 months, so hopefully he'll get into the game a bit more. But it's good to see him dropping a bit deeper like Will Swan did last week. Yeah. And support Shawunmi. Yeah, we spoke about that as well, didn't we? And John Jules is the furthest player forward. Every single red-shirted player, apart from Tyrese John Jules, is inside the Crawley penalty area, as they referee just holds things up slightly for Lincoln to take this corner. A little bit of argy-bargy in and around the penalty area, as you might expect, but here it comes from Rowan up towards that far side. Lincoln do win the first header. It's going to be won back on this near side by Bradley Ibrahim, surrounded by 3 white shirts, and he has it taken off his toes by Ring. Plays the ball into the box. Mukaina gets it away. It breaks on the edge of the area for Rolls. Rolls touches it forward to Shawunmi. Gets it square across the halfway line for Adi Adeyemo. Running into the opposition half. Has John Jules on the left-hand side. Gets it to the Crawley number 45 now. The white shirts are flooding back to defend. John Jules just tried to touch it around the corner. Once again, Lincoln were alive to it, but he plays the ball in short. Goes for a return. Bursts towards the edge of the box. Just shows a little bit much of it, though, once again to the Lincoln defence. But already, Mark, Tyrese John Jules is showing some good touches. It's just that final sort of little ball in field that's not quite working for him at the moment. Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully we'll get a bit of quality from him, a bit of final product at some point. But he's going to get there, I think. And if he can just get that ball through to Shawunmi or to Adeyemo. But that was a really good break from Crawley, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Yeah. The ball is back at the feet of Beach, the goalkeeper. Wallacott, the goalkeeper, on the bench this afternoon. 2 goalkeepers, of course, last week, Mark, in the game against Rotherham were on the bench, but only one this afternoon. Yeah. Wallacott. Yeah, absolutely. Not a bad sub-goalkeeper to have either, because he was brilliant against Rotherham. Yes, he was, yeah. He's alongside Cameron Bragg, Max Anderson, Gavin Holohan, Sonny Fish and Rafiq Khalil for whenever Rob Elliott decides to make any changes. I guess, all the time that it's well balanced and level or anything like that, then the managers, in terms of substitutions, will start to have an eye on extra time and things like that. And then as you go towards the end of extra time, if it's still level, you start to think about players that are on the pitch that might take a penalty and all that sort of thing. Long way to go before we get to that stage yet. But yes, and then obviously you're thinking about Tuesday night as well. Yeah, of course. Games on Tuesday. So yeah, a lot to think about as the game goes on here. Yeah. Interception made and jabbed forward here to Makama, trying to get around the outside of Barker. Adeyemo does brilliantly to come back and win it back right in front of the technical areas. Referee allows play to go on. Ibrahim gets the ball short, knocks it long out towards that far side. Rolls gets it under control. Tanimu was going on the overlap, tried to play it into Shawunmi, but it's intercepted. And Arahan gets it back to Darikwa. Scottish-born number 6 for Lincoln. I'm sure he'll be somewhere tonight celebrating St Andrew's Day, the Scottish-born midfielder. Absolutely. For Lincoln, and a happy St Andrew's Day to any of our Scottish listeners that we may have today. And Max Anderson, of course. Yeah. As Mukaina plays it short here for Barker. David Oliver says, hi Gary and Mark and everyone, have a great afternoon listening from my mum's in Chelsea today. Hi David. If you do want to get in touch, then the usual media outlets are open on social media or else on the email as well. If you do want to get in touch, just like David did, feel free to do so. Mark and I will try and have a look at some of those during the course of the game, and as I say, we will be dipping into our other 2 games when we get the opportunity. Adeyemo breaks on the halfway line and just plays it to the right hand side for Rolls. Rolls just sort of loses it under his feet. Kelly can't quite get there, but does just about enough to play it into the feet of Toby Malarkey. plays it tight onto that far side for Tanimu. Rowan comes in and makes the challenge. Malarkey picking the ball up there, Mark, in the same sort of areas where he played that fantastic ball in for Will Swan to... I don't think that's got credit enough during the course of the week for how good a ball that was in to Will Swan to sweep it home.
It was a hell of an assist, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but it's interesting to see Tanimu on the right side of midfield there. So we know he's a central defender normally. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on today.
Arahan plays it forward halfway inside their own half. Barker comes to get there before Makema. It breaks for Kelly, right hand side of the box. Here's Rolls, plays it to Shiwanmi, just on the edge of the area, can't quite work it out of his feet to get a shooting opportunity. Here's Ibrahim, plays it to the left hand side, forces Adeyemu slightly wide, plays it into the box, chance, goal! Brilliant for Crawley, played across from the left hand side. Adeyemu danced down to the byline and he pulled it back for the left foot of Jack Rolls. And Jack Rolls, he scores goals when it's important, and Crawley take the lead courtesy of Rolls' third goal of the season. I thought the opportunity had gone too far away from Adeyemu, but he pulled it back, and with almost 10 minutes on the clock, Crawley take the lead in this Emirates FA Cup tie. Jack Rolls the goal scorer. It is Crawley Town 1, Lincoln City 0. Mark.
Yeah, it was a really good build-up. Tola Shiwanmi sort of thought he'd lost it on the edge of the area. The ball found nicely to Rolls. He put it out to Ibrahim. Ibrahim puts it down to the left. Like you said, I thought the chance had gone. But Adeyemu did well, pulled it back. There wasn't a lot of pace on the cross, but Jack Rolls was unmarked, came in and easily side-footed home into the bottom left-hand corner of the goal. Really good start for Crawley. This might be one of their earliest goals this season.
Yeah. Could well be. Could well be, and just reward, I think, for the start that Crawley have made, because they really, like we said in the build-up to the game and when the game first kicked off, Mark, they really have taken the game to the opposition. Absolutely. They know there has to be a winner today. Crawley are looking to get it done as quickly and as well as they possibly can, and they've made the best possible start here against high-flying Lincoln City. Lincoln have got a player down, actually, just on the edge of the centre circle. I think it is Arahan, who's just seemed to take a bit of a whack when he got the ball back from the kick-off. I think one of the Crawley players went charging in. Come on, Crawley, have a good game. Again, that's David on the social media. Like I say, anybody else who wants to get in touch, please feel free to do so. We will dip in to our other local games, our featured games, which are Woking at home against Yeovil and Dorking at home against Truro in a couple of minutes' time when we next get a break in play here. Referee's going to start the game with a good old-fashioned drop ball, I believe. Just looking around at the other FA Cup ties, there's been an early goal at London Road, Peterborough 1, Notts County 0. Not too many other goals around at the moment in the FA Cup games. Wickham, as I say, victorious away at Wealdstone, and the game between Wimbledon and Dagenham and Redbridge at Plough Lane is a game that kicks off later today at 5:15. Little touch off towards Moylan. Shiwanmi trying to get on the bounce. It didn't quite break his way first. He gets there now. He slots it home. And Tola Shiwanmi, just over 12 minutes played, has put Crawley in absolute dreamland. They pounced on the mistake. It didn't quite break for him first time. But Tola Shiwanmi, who got the winning goal at Maidenhead to set Crawley up for this second round tie, has put it home for his third goal of the season. Rolls got one a couple of moments ago. Shiwanmi has one now. Crawley have a little bit of breathing space. And inside 12 minutes, it is Crawley Town 2, Lincoln City 0. Mark, long way to go. What a start though for the Reds.
I need to come and commentate more often. This is really good move again. Tanimu this time with the assist. Played it through to Shiwanmi. He thought the Lincoln defender was going to get it off him, but he battled his way through, powered his way through, and then a really calm, calculated finish. It was a lovely finish, and 2-0. Crawley in dreamland. I mean, we were saying it was an early goal. They haven't scored 2 goals before 13 minutes this year. So an amazing start, and this is exactly what Rob Elliott would have wanted. Well,
fantastic play from Shiwanmi, because he really shouldn't have got to the ball, shouldn't he?
No.
He showed a little bit too much of it to the defender, but he went on, made the challenge.
Yeah, he's a big, powerful lad, isn't he? And he really showed that. That's what Crawley have been missing the last couple of years, actually. Last few years, a big target man striker, and he did really well there.
Jack Rolls after 10 minutes, Shiwanmi after 12 minutes. Crawley lead by 2 goals to 0. There's 13.5 minutes on the clock. And Crawley have the ball back again at the feet of Toby Malarkey, who comes square into the feet of Mukena. He plays it here to Barker. 5 changes this afternoon, but Crawley are playing with a little bit of a swagger, a little bit of a confidence. But what we will do now is we will whip over to our other featured games as the ball's gone out of play for what will be a Lincoln throw, and we'll drop into the Laithwaite Stadium for our first update of the afternoon in the National League. Woking versus Yeovil with Tom Mitchell.
Not forgiven. Just come up to the quarter-hour mark here at the Laythwaite Community Stadium. Just come up to the quarter-hour mark here at the Laythwaite Community Stadium. Woking 0, Yeovil 0. Best chance has gone to the visitors. A lovely through ball to Aaron Jarvis, but it was an excellent save from Willie Askline. And Woking have had some lively moments early doors, but Yeovil with the best chance so far. Quarter-hour played, Woking 0, Yeovil 0.
Actually,
he gave a goal kick and then he changed his mind and gave a corner.
Then he changed his mind, yeah, and it will be the third corner kick of the afternoon then, all of which have gone the way of the visitors. Goalless at the Laythwaite Stadium then. We will dip in to Meadowbank in just a moment as well to get an update from Bob Papworth, who's watching the game between Dorking and Truro for us, but we will see what happens from this corner kick. Rowan once again has come over to this near side. We always know that 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline, because if Lincoln were to get one back, then there's still plenty of the game to go. It's not as if Crawley have gone 2-0 up with only 3 or 4 minutes to play. Referee's just having to have a little bit of a word with a couple of players there.
Shawonmi's on the floor there.
Yeah,
he's been pushed over obviously. But
yeah, Shawonmi on the floor, I think shoved over by O'Connor. Yeah. Two big players just sort of jostling around to try and find a decent bit of position. Shawonmi back doing his defensive duties after scoring the goal that made it 2-0 just a few moments ago. Rowan once again stands over the corner kick on this near side for the visitors. Plays it into the penalty area. Crawley get there first in the shape of Mukena and win the ball back on that far side and have the opportunity to stride forward. It's Adeyemu charging over the halfway line, gets away from Monsma, but then has it taken off his toes by Arahan, and it goes out of play on that far side. Just over 15 and a half played here. Let's dip in to the Meadowbank Stadium in the National League South. Bob Papworth is watching Dorking Wanderers against Truro.
Yeah, thanks very much, Gary. It's still goalless here at the Meadowbank. Best chance for Dorking came in the 4th minute with a long ball from defence by Tony Craig. Found an unmarked Briggsy, but he dragged the shot wide. Just a few moments ago, Truro had a good opportunity to put the game 1-0 up for them, where Cabia just managed to slice the ball over the crossbar. But it's currently 0-0, 17 minutes down.
Scoreboard, thankfully, on the far side, it says Crawley 2. Lincoln City 0. Thank you, Bob. So no goals in that game between Dorking and Truro. No goals at the Laythwaite Stadium either between Woking and Yeovil, but 2 goals here. And don't forget, we have got plenty of sports action coming up this week. Game changers, 6 o'clock till 7 o'clock on Monday evening with Fern Buckley. I'll tell you more about what's coming up on that show as we go through the game this afternoon. We've got Albion Unlimited, of course, on Tuesday, reflecting on the point that Brighton gained against Southampton last night in a 1-1 draw at the Amex Stadium. That means that at the start of the 3 o'clock games today, the Albion sit 2nd in the Premier League. Barker chasing this one down on this near side, gets there first before Draper, gets it back to Beach. Beach goes up to the halfway line for Shawonmi. Shawonmi just tries to chest it off to Ibrahim. Back it goes out to Hamilton. Dariqua plays it forward to this near side. Makama plays it in towards the penalty area, but neither of the Lincoln forwards anywhere near it, and Beach is able to overarm, get it out to that far side, and Rolls does brilliantly just to hold it up on the overlap. Tanimu tried to get it infield to Tyrese John-Jules, who holds his hand up to acknowledge the pass from his teammate over on that far side. You can see exactly, Mark, what Tanimu was trying to do, but it was just too far ahead of John-Jules.
He was trying to do a malarkey, wasn't he, from last week? Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, great ball from Rolls to set Tanimu right on the through on the right. But I've been really impressed with Adeyemo so far.
Yeah,
he's been really good, been leading all the breaks, and Jack Rolls has done really well as well.
Well, like I was saying, Albion Unlimited Tuesday night, reacting to that draw last night, also looking ahead to the 2 Albion games that are coming up in the next 7 days. Away to Fulham on Thursday at 7:30, or the build-up starts at 7:30, and then Leicester away for Brighton and Hove Albion next Sunday. The build-up starts with Johnny Cantor and Warren Aspinall, of course, bringing you full match commentary from the kick-off, but the build-up starts before the kick-off from the King Power Stadium, and then next Saturday Crawley are at home here against Stevenage, but it is FA Trophy Day as well. Lots of featured ties on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey involving Aldershot, Woking, Worthing and Eastbourne. Updates from all of those games, of course, as well as updates from the Broadfield Stadium here for the League One fixture between Crawley and Stevenage. But there is another fixture, of course, to be played before that at the Valley on Tuesday evening, as Lincoln have a free kick halfway inside the Crawley half of the field, and it comes towards O'Connor. Rolls does just about enough, does he, to get it clear. Crawley throw bodies at it. Malarkey tries to dribble it out of trouble, doesn't quite get away with it. Ball played into the box. O'Connor gets the header, and it's in the back of the net. And O'Connor halves the deficit And Malarkey tried to dribble it out of trouble over on that far side and got caught. And they worked it out to the left-hand side. And with 19 minutes on the clock, we've had 3 goals already in this one. We did say that 2-0 was a dangerous scoreline for Crawley, and we always say that the next goal is very, very important. But suddenly Lincoln have it. They have themselves a lifeline. O'Connor has the goal for his 3rd goal of the season. And suddenly, Mark, they have half the deficit, and it's Crawley 2, Lincoln City 1.
Yeah, they just struggled to clear their lines there, didn't they? Jack Rolls had a couple of chances to clear it, and then Malarkey, and they didn't get it out. And then it was a good dink to the far post and a really good header by O'Connor. Just looped over Beach, hit the underside of the crossbar and went in.
Yep.
So, yeah, disappointing, but still leading.
Well, we said it could be tight, we said it could be tense, and it's been nothing of that, really. We've played not even 20 minutes yet, and we've had 3 goals.
Gary,
yeah,
sure.
There's plenty more goals to come in this one. And don't forget, we do have to have a winner here this afternoon, be that in the 90 minutes or courtesy of extra time like it took Crawley before. Kelly with a brilliant turn, runs to the edge of the box, fancies his chances, takes a deflection off of the Lincoln defence. John Jules can't quite win it on the edge of the box. Then he commits a foul after the referee sees that, and the assistant referee has seen that over on the far side. Then John Jules could well be in trouble here. Just sort of kicked out a little bit, just in a little bit of frustration. And I think the referee might just go across to have a word with the assistant referee. But just recap where we are at the moment, Mark. We're just approaching 20 and a half minutes played. Rolls made it 1-0 after 10 minutes. Shawonmi made it 2-0 after just 12 minutes. And then just a couple of minutes ago, Paulie O'Connor, the skipper for Lincoln this afternoon, getting on the end of a cross in from that left-hand side. And like you quite rightly said, Crawley just decided to sort of dribble their way out of trouble, didn't they? As opposed to sometimes you have to just play the percentages, don't you, and just get the ball away from your own danger area.
Absolutely, like I say, 2-0 is such a dangerous scoreline, and yeah, you just don't, you want to get the next goal and not to clear it like they did there. Sometimes, yeah, I mean, I know the fans get frustrated at times with them playing out from the back, but in a situation like that, you just wanted someone to lever it out.
Or John Jules was yellow carded.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened there actually, but
well, I think it was Arahan who made the clearance and sort of was a little bit all over Torres, John Jules, as he was trying to win the ball, and I think John Jules just sort of kicked out at him as the ball disappeared up the field. But Lincoln might now have the bit between their teeth just a little bit more. They've halved the deficit, and it's Crawley 2, Lincoln City 1 here at the Broadfield Stadium. And like I was saying, we do have to have a winner this afternoon. It took Crawley extra time to get past Maidenhead, and the referee's going to give that as a free kick. He didn't give the free kick here for the foul that seemed to occur on Bradley Ibrahim, but he does pull it back for the free kick that's about 30 yards from goal, Mark, and it's relatively central in terms of the width of the pitch and also the length of the pitch to the halfway line as well.
It is. I don't know if this is the kind of position players like free kicks in when it's so central to the goal, but yeah, it should have been a free kick here. Hamilton on Ibrahim. Referee didn't give that one, and like you said, give a free kick here, but it could be a dangerous position for Crawley. Yep. And if it's 2-2 after 22 minutes, that'll be it's a lot going on.
I might need to invest in a new notebook at half time, Mark. There's going to be too much to write down, which is not too bad a thing. There's 3 white-shirted Lincoln players lining up over the ball. Every single Crawley player, apart from Tyrese John Jules, once again, is well, pretty much all of them are forming the wall. There's a couple of players just over on that far side, Rolls and Barker. The wall is lined up just like a yard outside the 18-yard box, so they're standing about 19 yards from goal, so the free kick therefore is about 31 yards. They're going to drive it first time, and the wall does its job, and everyone looks around in a red shirt to see who's going to hook it clear, but they do get it up to Tyrese John Jules, who doesn't quite get it out to that far side, and Monsma makes the interception, plays it in field, but it only goes to Adeyemu, and Tyrese John Jules cuts in field brilliantly and tries to get away from the attentions of the Lincoln midfield, and surely the ref is going to pull that one back. He's tried to play the advantage actually, and in the end it's not a bad decision from the referee, as Kelly tries to make the interception on this near side. It's been a frantic opening to the game, not just in the terms of goals, Mark, but a frantic play. It's sometimes you get an FA Cup tie or even a League One game that's, you know, a little bit dull, as Rolls tries to ball into the box. Intercepted, it goes out of play on that far side of what will be a throw. But both teams, when they get it, first thought is just to go forward, isn't it, and look for more goals.
Yeah, it looks like both teams want to win this in 90 minutes today, and they want to win it in the first half by the looks of it as well. But Crawley having a lot of success on that right, getting balls in, like the Malarkey ball last week. Yep. It a couple of times, but that was Rolls this time, didn't quite get it to find a Crawley player.
And Tanimu, like you say, is doing very well down the right-hand side. Throw into the area, he's headed clear by O'Connor. Up towards the halfway line for Lincoln. Lovely little back hill brings ring into play on that far side. The ball in field is won though by Barker. Ibrahim helps it on into the Lincoln half of the field. Monsmer on hand to just play it out to this near side for Dariqua. Scored twice in their game against Wycombe Wanderers the other week, Mark, did Dariqua, and then scored the own goal that turned out to be the only goal of the game.
Been an interesting week for him, hasn't it?
Yeah, in their defeat away at Wrexham.
Just a word about Charlie Barker again. He's doing a great job on McKenna. He looks like a dangerous player on.
Yes, he is.
On their right.
Yeah.
Barker's doing superbly like he's done the last few games, and he's just telling everyone to calm down now. It'd be good if they could calm down.
Obviously, it won't change any league positions, anything that happens today. But after their defeat at Wrexham, Lincoln do find themselves 9th in the League One table, 26 points from 17 games. They did finish 7th last season in League One. There's a brilliant bit of play over on that right hand side by Crawley, breaking into the box and trying to get to the byline, get their feet in a little bit of a tangle. I think it was Adeyemo over on that far side who couldn't quite get his feet sorted out to get the ball in field. Crawley do make an interception though and get it back into the feet of Mukena, but as you quite rightly mentioned, Mark, Crawley having plenty of joy when they try and break forward, certainly on both flanks, but certainly more on the right hand side than on the left hand side.
Yeah, it really does. And yeah, Tanamu that was, he was broken to the, he just couldn't get the ball out of his feet, and I think he wanted to cut it back to Kelly, I think it was. He was just hanging on the side there, but the right hand side looks like where they're having a lot of luck, so whether Lincoln looks to change that as the game goes on.
Forward it goes, Shawanmi gets beaten in the air, John Jules battles back to try and get it. Hamilton comes away with the ball. Couple of strong challenges go in. Moylan comes away with the ball, just plays it to his left-hand side. Lincoln try and break through the gap. Malarkey makes the interception. Referee pulls it back, I think, for what is going to be a Crawley Town free kick. But could have played the advantage there, Mark, because Rolls has got the ball in midfield, has it under control. Referee could have easily let the game roll on, but elected to pull it back. And it will be a free kick.
It was whether, because Malarkey went down quite heavily, I don't know if he thought there might have been a more serious injury.
Yeah, possibly. So elsewhere in the FA Cup then, at the moment, in the second round ties that kicked off at 3 o'clock, Accrington 1, Swindon 0, Leyton Orient 0, Oldham 0, Peterborough 1, Notts County 2, Salford 2, Cheltenham 0, Stockport 2, Brackley 0, Walsall 0, Charlton 1. Those are the games that have goals in at the present time, and as I mentioned before, the early kick-off, Wealdstone 0, Wycombe Wanderers 2. The draw for the third round is Monday evening on the BBC television between 7 o'clock and 7:30. Unfortunately, I can't bring you confirmation of what number ball either of these sides will be should they get themselves into the hat. Just keep your eye on the club website and all that sort of thing for details of that, but it is 7 o'clock on Monday evening, and of course it's when the Premier League sides and the Championship sides come into the draw, and for the sides that are battling away over the course of this weekend, that is the carrot that they're all playing for, isn't it? The fact, to try and be in that third round draw and draw that plum tie away at Manchester United, away at Manchester City, or away at Spurs or anywhere like that.
Absolutely, and Rob Elliott might be looking at Newcastle away or something like that. Yeah, but neither of these sides are going to get into win the cup. So you want a really good draw at this stage. Of course. This round and get that plum draw.
Crawley have done brilliantly to work it down the left-hand side and then spread it back across into the feet of Malarkey. We're just over 27.5 minutes in here. We will be dropping back into our two other featured games very, very shortly when we get the opportunity to, when we get a decent break in play. There hasn't been that many, Mark, in the 28 minutes that we've had so far.
It's been breathless.
Yeah, it has.
Absolutely, but really entertaining to watch.
Barker plays it down this near side. Adeyemo gets it under control, tries to get away from Dariqua, plays it in field. Barker does just about enough to keep it in play, and in the end just plays it back to McKenna, who spreads it across to Malarkey. He touches it back to Beach again, who comes forward to Ibrahim. Good play by Crawley, because sometimes that is a dangerous tactic to play it in a straight ball sort of out from the goalkeeper, but this time it's worked for Crawley, but it doesn't quite break for Tanimu over on that far side, and it's going to be easily tidied up by Rowan, who plays it in field to Arahan. Crawley 2, Lincoln City 1. If you have just joined us, welcome along to this sports special, coming to you live from the Broadfield Stadium with me, Gary Smith, and my co-commentator this afternoon is the sports editor of one of the local Crawley newspapers, Mark Dunford, joining me for the first time on commentary this afternoon.
I'm enjoying it so far.
Ball is back at the feet of Beach on the edge of his own 6-yard box. Ball forward is intercepted though by Hamilton, and the header forward gets to the edge of the penalty area, and it comes to Makama on this near side, but Barker goes in, makes the interception. Ibrahim was fouled. Will be a free kick to Crawley, 10 yards or so outside their own penalty area. Some ironic cheers and applause, but it does give us an opportunity, a little break in play, to drop back to the Laithwaite Community Stadium, where it was goalless last time we were there between Woking and Yeovil. Any sign of a breakthrough over there? Tom Mitchell.
Yeovil 0. Half hour play there, Woking 0, Yeovil 0, but Woking are down to 10 men. I can only presume it was something that was said by Woking striker Jack Stretton, that all the crowd were absolutely bemused when Stretton was sent off, including Dion Kelly-Evans. But Yeovil Town certainly now dominated possession with that man advantage, but shortly after the red card, actually, Matt Ward had a chance for Woking, lifting it over the goalkeeper Ollie Wright after a poor pass from the goalkeeper. It was headed off the line by Morgan Williams. So half hour played it at Laithwaite Community Stadium. Woking 0, Yeovil 0.
Mukana, thank you, Tom. So no goals there at the Laithwaite Stadium, but Woking playing the remainder of that game with only 10 men in the National League against Yeovil. We will duck in to the Meadowbank Stadium again to get an update from Bob in a few minutes' time in the game between Dorking and Truro that was also goalless last time we were there. As I mentioned, and as Mark mentioned before, there's midweek fixtures for both of these sides. Crawley Town go to the Valley for a first ever league meeting with Charlton Athletic. That could be a little bit of a homecoming for Rob Elliott, given that he played 96 times for the South East London side.
He said on Thursday that he's got a lot of friends and family who'll be watching, but he's willing to upset them on Tuesday.
Absolutely. Well, if Crawley avoid defeat here this afternoon, Mark, then they will have gone all through November with just the one defeat, and that was the game away at Wickham in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy competition. That they were going to struggle to get out of the group stage as they went into that game anyway. But 4 league games, and if they avoid defeat here this afternoon, 2 FA Cup games, where they've really started to sort of show signs of what they're about, and what Rob is trying to implement is starting to sort of bear fruit, isn't it?
Absolutely. He said it would take time when he came in, and it has taken time, but you're absolutely seeing his shape. He stamped his authority on this team now with tactics and formation and that, and he's done really well. And 3 clean sheets in that November as well, I think, is a really key moment, because they were letting in goals for fun at one point, weren't they? So
absolutely. I feel a little bit better now for emergency lone goalkeeper Connell Truman. I'm glad that he came back and had a better time second spell around. Dariqua's got it square to the edge of the box, shooting opportunity. Crawley block out the light, and the offside flag goes up on this near side. It will be a free kick to Crawley inside their own penalty area. They almost were architects of their own downfall again, giving the ball away from the throw. But it does give us a little break in play here, so we'll quickly head back to the Meadowbank Stadium, where it's Dorking versus Truro. Goalless last time we were there. Any change in that one? Bob Papworth.
I wish I could say yes, Gary, but no, it's still 0-0 between Dorking and Truro. Very little's occurred since you were last with us. Tyler Harvey in the 21st minute had an effort on goal, but it went wide, and a few minutes after that, Matty Briggs passed from inside the box, found Alfie Rutherford, but just as he was tackled 10 yards out, just as he was about to take aim and take an opportunity on goal. But it's into the 33rd minute, it's still 0-0.
Crawley win the ball back in the shape of Shawonmi. Gets it up to the edge of the box. Jack rolls square to the right hand side. Kelly breaks away, plays the ball across the edge of the box. It was too far away from Tyrese John Jules. It was one of those in the end, Mark. There was neither a shot nor a cross, really, was it, from Kelly when he got the ball on the right hand side. We know what he could do with the ball at his feet as well. I thought he was just going to pull the trigger and sort of lash one towards the goal. That might have worked the goalkeeper Wickens, but in the end it was neither one or the other.
No, I think he was trying to cut it back, but it just ended up just going across too far in front of the Crawley strikers that were waiting. But Adeyemo started that move again. He's been playing really well today. We haven't seen the best of him so far this season, but last couple of games again he has started to shine.
Arahan tries a long ball out towards that far side that was well away from any white shirt, and it just goes through to the gloves of goalkeeper Beach. We talked about the game on Tuesday night away at Charlton Athletic. Ken and I will be there to bring you full match commentary on that one. Stevenage come to the Broadfield Stadium next Saturday for a Sky Bet League One fixture. Tony Vesey back alongside me, back from his birthday holiday celebrations that he's away celebrating at the moment. So we will be here for full match coverage for you next Saturday afternoon. Got all the usual team news, previews and updates throughout the course of the afternoon on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey. And then it's a trip to London Road, the home of Peterborough, on the 14th of December. That's the next 3 fixtures for Crawley Town. My memory of Peterborough last season, Mark, is that I got there for the Bristol Street Motors Trophy game, only for the game to be called off about an hour or so before kick-off. I was halfway through setting up my equipment, and then I couldn't make the rearranged date.
That was a cold night, wasn't it?
It was very cold.
I think we all knew it was going to be called off,
yeah.
but nobody did.
No.
Very frustrated. I remember Scott Lindsay being very frustrated that night.
Yeah.
EFL.
He very much was. Monsma chasing that ball out on the far side alongside Tyrese John Jules, but it just drifts out of play. As for Lincoln, I guess in the balance of fairness, we should say what their next fixtures are. They are away again on Tuesday night. So they went to Wrexham last Tuesday. They come here today for a cup tie. They go away to Rotherham on Tuesday night. And then, interestingly, they play Charlton next Saturday. So Charlton's next two games are Crawley and then Lincoln. That is a game that starts at 12:30. They are back at Sinsel or the LNER Stadium, as it's now called for sponsorship purposes, next Saturday, 12:30. Then they play away at Morecambe on the 10th of December in a game that starts at 7 o'clock. And that's in the EFL Trophy. Lincoln having battled their way through the group stages. There's a shot that comes in towards Eddie Beach, but it's a relatively routine save for the loanee, and he plays it out to this near side. Adeyemi can't quite take it with him at the first attempt. Monsma does just about enough and turns it infield to Arahan, and Hamilton gets it back to O'Connor. O'Connor plays it out towards this near side. Barker almost caught a little bit on the ball, but he just waited for the shove from the number 27 Makama, and it will be a free kick to Crawley.
Toby Malaki lost his captain's armband and all of that. He's got it back.
And Crawley will have a free kick, and we've played 35.5 minutes, and don't forget there will be reaction as per usual today after the game from the Crawley Town camp in the guise of manager Rob Elliott and also one of the players looking back on this one and looking ahead to the game on Tuesday night. And if you stay tuned in to BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey between 5 and 6 this evening, you will hear reaction not just from today but from all of the games involving our local sides, and no doubt some reaction from that Albion draw last night against Southampton. Long legs of Tanimu do well to make an interception, and Barker scoops it clear on this near side. Lincoln are starting to look sometimes a little bit more threatening. Interception is made here by Adeyemi. Dwindles on the ball slightly. Ibrahim and Kelly almost leave it to each other. Lincoln pick up the pieces. Crawley do well to intercept. Ibrahim can't quite get it clear. Breaks for Arahan. Plays it out towards this right hand side. Adeyemi has to track back against Makama. Ball goes out of play. Took a touch off the Lincoln man, and it goes out for what will be a Crawley Town throw. But we are inside the last 10 minutes, Mark, of the first half. Now Crawley leading by 2-1. Getting to that stage now, though, where they need to think about, if they can't go on and extend the lead, they need to make sure they're protecting what they've got till half time.
Absolutely, and what we've seen, the goal they let in, they didn't clear their lines, and a couple of times there was opportunities to clear, and they need to clear those lines. Like you said, Lincoln look very dangerous when they do attack, and they are looking slightly the more threatening at the moment.
Yeah,
so, yes.
I think the visitors were a little bit shell-shocked by the start that Crawley made. Take nothing away from Crawley, the chances came along and they took them.
Which is what they haven't done most of the season when they've had these chances.
No.
But so it's they just need to see this last 8-9 minutes out.
And they have only lost twice on their travels so far this season of Lincoln, once here and the game at Wrexham on Tuesday night.
Yeah, no, really good away from home, and as we've said already, Rob Elliott rates them very, very highly, one of the best teams in the league. So yeah, a bit of game management now till half time.
Yeah. Here's Hamilton though, breaking forward, plays it to this near side. Dariqua plays it into the box. It hit Ibrahim, breaks on the edge of the box for Moylan outside of the boot, gets it across to that far side. Rowan, left-footed cross up towards this near side. It drops over the top of Adeyemi. Moylan just trying to shepherd the ball out towards this near side, looking for options, goes back to Arahan on this near side. 1-2 with Dariqua. Arahan breaks away towards this right hand corner flag. Adeyemi goes with him. Moylan there in support. Crawley get a touch on it. Ibrahim can't quite get it clear. Crawley not quite clear in their lines. Slid forward down this near side for Dariqua. Once again though, Crawley do just about enough. It breaks to John Jules, but there was no point in him trying to play the ball forward because there was nobody further forward, and in the end he's been hassled off the ball by a combination of Dariqua and Monsma. And Lincoln, Mark, look like they've got the bit between their teeth to try and get themselves back on level terms before the break.
Yeah, they really do. They really have got the bit between their teeth, and Crawley have really got to defend well and got to clear their lines.
There's a ball into the box, and there's a header, and there is the equalising goal, and it comes from Makama, just a ball in from this right hand side, and there is the goal that we were talking about that Crawley were trying to avoid. and Lincoln have come from 2 goals down to level this one up. We're just about to hit 39 minutes. A crossing from this right-hand side, and it was the number 27 as Beach came to get it. It was the number 27, Jovan Makama, just getting there before the Crawley Town goalkeeper, heading it over the top of him and into the empty net. And we are suddenly all square in a breathless first half. 39 minutes played. Crawley 2, Lincoln 2, Mark.
Yeah, we were talking about game management, and again there was an opportunity here for John Jules to clear it up the field, but a really good cross in and a really good glancing header from Makama. Just got there before Beach, like you said, and glanced home. But yeah, we were talking about game management, and there wasn't a lot there from Crawley. They just need to clear their lines when they have the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, we got very excited at the fact that Crawley were 2 goals ahead after 12 minutes, but like we said within the commentary, there was still a long way to go, of course, and Lincoln have got themselves back into it, and the referees elected to give a free kick here to Lincoln for a challenge that looked like both players have come off fairly badly from it. There's a player down on the floor from both sides, but suddenly we're all square. We're just about to hit 40 minutes, so going into the final 5 minutes of the regulation 45, and I guess it's been a half of contrasting fortunes and probably a half of contrasting emotions for Rob Elliott, Mark, because he'd be delighted at the start that his side have made, but suddenly they find themselves potentially being level at the break.
Absolutely, and yeah, it's really 2 quite disappointing goals as well. So yeah, he would have been absolutely delighted, because it's the first time, as we've said, Crawley have scored early when they've had those opportunities, and you thought they'd try and drive on, extend the lead and that, but Lincoln have done really well and they do look threatening.
Yep. On the other hand, of course, totally the reverse for the Lincoln boss Michael Scubala, caretaker manager at Leeds United before he took over at Lincoln in November 2023, so just celebrated his anniversary in charge. As I mentioned before, took them to just outside the playoffs last season and has took them to 9th in the League One table before today, and of course that is where they will stay, with no League One action taking place today and any League One sides that are playing being involved in the FA Cup. And Jack says on the email, FA Cup then today, Gary, not easy to predict, but I think that even with the much changed side, the boys should come away with a win, probably plenty of goals, so I'm going with 3-2 to the Reds. Have a good one and speak again at half time, is what Jack says. It's almost like he can predict the future, Jack.
Well, let's hope that's how it ends, but they need to defend a little bit better and clear their lines.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a big second 45 minutes here at the Broadfield Stadium, and Mark and I will be bringing you all the action. We will hand back to the studio when the half-time whistle goes here, just for the half-time sequence. Charlie Barker makes an interception. Barker picks it up thinking it should have been his throw, but he thought Makama had run the ball over the touchline. Assistant referee had other ideas though, and Rowan plays it forward out towards that far side for the Swede Ring, who gets it into Rowan. Malarkey makes an interception. Had an easy pass though to play to Shawonmi, but elected to go long, and O'Connor picks it up over on that far side and plays it infield to Arahan. 3 minutes of the 45 to go. Crawley 2, Lincoln City 2 in this Emirates FA Cup second round tie, on a sports special this afternoon with Phil Kennedy holding the fort back in the studio, and we will be, as I say, handing back to Phil as Lincoln break forward on that left-hand side again. Ball comes into the area, evades everybody, breaks it for Makana, cuts infield onto his left foot. Crawley do well in the shape of Barker just to block out the shot, but Lincoln work the ball back to Monsma, who plays it in, and there's a header. Brilliant save, and the second header, a brilliant save again. What a double save by Eddie Beach that is. Twice in the space of 5 seconds, he comes to Crawley's rescue, and he makes sure that Crawley will hopefully at least go into the break on level terms, because from those 2 headers, Mark, they could have easily found themselves 3-2 behind.
I mean, it was another brilliant ball in, and yeah, point blank the first one, and then he reacted so well, get up quickly to deny Deriqua, who would have had his 4th goal either end in the space of a week. But yeah, brilliant from Eddie Beach, and that will give him so much confidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Gerard on the social media says, afternoon chaps, listening in from Barbados, really looking for an attacking performance, in particular us being more clinical in front of goal. So far so good. He's going for 3-2 to Crawley as well. Here's Monsma with the throw on this near side. People must have known something about the way the game was going to pan out, Mark, before we did.
Absolutely, it's going to be a quiet second half. It's going to go
yeah,
like
well, that's okay. I don't mind that. If there's going to be just one goal and it's going to be scored right in front of us here with Crawley attacking this goal. John Skilton says, hi Gary and Mark, greetings from a cloudy Minehead. Love the commentary. It sounds a very exciting game, keeping everything crossed. And Brant over there in the United States. Happy Thanksgiving for the other day, of course, to our American listeners and, of course, the owners of the club. Enjoying listening to Gary and Mark giving us the call today for Crawley Town. Gary and Mark, it's like I'm right there because there's no video available today. Almost, well, pretty close is what he says. And come on, you Reds. Crawley have a player down just 10 yards inside their own half of the field. We are inside the last 60 seconds of the regulation 45. Probably will get a couple of minutes added on, but just whilst we've got this little break in play, Mark, just try, if you can, and sum up your thoughts on the first half for us.
Well, it has been end to end, and sort of, yeah, the first 20 minutes, Crawley were just on the front foot, like they have been in most games, but they did work more clinical this time, and 2 really good goals, really well worked goals. But then Lincoln have come back into it. Like you said, Lincoln were a bit shell shocked, but then I think settled down, and they have looked more threatening going forward, certainly, and they're getting a lot of joy from crosses into the box. And if it wasn't for Eddie Beach, then could have easily been 3-2. But yeah, Crawley will be disappointed with those goals that they conceded, but it's for anyone to take, and but like you said, they both want to win this in 90 minutes today, won't they?
Well, we've just hit the 45 minutes now, and the fourth official indicates that we are going to get 4 additional minutes at the end of this one. There is still treatment being applied.
Malarkey, I think.
To Toby Malarkey over on that far side. Elsewhere around the FA Cup at the moment, Accrington 1, Swindon 0. The all League One clash between Barnsley and Bristol Rovers is goalless, as is Cambridge versus Wigan, as is Exeter versus Chesterfield, as is Orient versus Oldham and Morecambe versus Bradford. Peterborough 1, Notts County 2, Salford 2, Cheltenham 0. Stevenage and Mansfield is goalless. Stockport 2, Brackley 0, Walsall 0, Charlton 2, and as I mentioned before, Wimbledon against Dagenham and Redbridge is a 7:15 kickoff, and the early kickoff finished Wealdstone 0, Wickham 2. In the games that are taking place in the Premier League this afternoon at the G-Tech Stadium, Brentford 2, Leicester 1. It's goalless at Selhurst Park between Palace and Newcastle, as it is between Forest and Ipswich at Molineux. It is Wolves 1, Bournemouth 3, and the 5:30 kickoff at the London Stadium. That is going to be a game of interest to some members of my family anyway, given that they're West Ham season ticket holders, is West Ham against the Gunners of Arsenal. Malarkey just over on the far side, waiting to be ushered back onto the pitch. We are inside stoppage time here at the end of the first half. As I mentioned, we will hand back to Phil Kennedy in the studio when the half-time whistle goes here. We will just wrap things up and then hand back to Phil, and he will get the half-time reflections from the games at the Laithwaite Stadium and also at Meadowbank involving Woking and Dorking. And then Mark and I will be back with you for full match coverage of the second half of a pulsating Emirates FA Cup tie that currently stands all square at 2-2. Arahan gets it back to the edge of his own penalty area. Malarkey is still not being allowed on the field of play, so Crawley still playing at the moment with just 10 men on the pitch. Ibrahim makes an interception. Ball goes out for a corner kick. Malarkey now being allowed back onto the field of play. Some jeers from around the crowd though, Mark, that he wasn't allowed on a little bit sooner. Not too sure that he could have done much to prevent the corner.
Yeah, it was a bit bizarre he wasn't allowed on straight away, but it's going to be longer than 4 minutes, I think, these additional minutes.
But Crawley need to be switched on to defend this 4th corner kick of the afternoon for the Imps, right on top of Beach, who elects at his near post to punch it away. Ring thought about getting it. He left it for Arahan. Arahan left it for Ring, and between them, John Jules was able to pinch the ball, but Lincoln win it back and go back into the feet of Wickens. Just over 2.5 minutes of the additional 4 minutes played here at the Broadfield Stadium. Barker goes up on this near side, doesn't get anywhere near it. Makama just went up to make the challenge and make it a little bit awkward for Charlie Barker, but it goes over the top of both of them and out of play for what will be a Crawley Town throw halfway inside their own half. 60 seconds of stoppage time to go. Monsma gets it back into the feet of Arahan under pressure from Ibrahim, but he just manages to get it square. Arahan just ends up on the floor for no apparent reason. Barker wins the header when the ball is played forward. Intercepted though by Hamilton. Darikwa on this near side, into the box it comes, and then it's swept over the top by Mukama. And when Crawley take this goal kick, Mark, when the ball is actually retrieved and put back on the spot to take the goal kick, then that may well be it for what has been a breathless first half.
It's been the most entertaining half so far this season, I think. It's been absolutely fantastic to watch. But yeah, like I said, Rob Elliott and the staff will be a little bit disappointed by the goals they conceded, I think.
Well, Beach spots it up for what will be the goal kick. Crawley ahead after 10 minutes, courtesy of a goal by Jack Rolls. 2 goals ahead after 12 minutes, courtesy of Tola Shawonmi, but then after 19 minutes, Paudie O'Connor with a header to make it 2-1, and then a goal after 39 minutes by Mukoma, also with a header when the ball came in from the right-hand side. Squares it up at 2 goals apiece. Beach gets it forward. We're just a few seconds over the 4 additional minutes that were signalled. McKenna plays it to this near side for Ibrahim, who tries to turn it forward. Still we play on, ball just inside the Lincoln half. Hammered forward, takes a bounce in the D just outside Beach's penalty area, and he's able to take it comfortably on his chest. And Charlie Barker, I think, is saying just take your time, just, you know, pretty much when you get this one clear, that's going to be it. Draper just makes some strides to try and close the pressure down on goalkeeper Beach, but I would anticipate that when he gets this one forward, the Crawley Town goalkeeper, that will be it for the first half of this Emirates FA Cup tie. And it's going to be a big second half. Beach gets it forward, Shawonmi goes after it, gets the header on it, but just nods it straight out of play, and it will be a throw to Lincoln on this near side. Down the line it goes, Barker up against Mukama, and the referee blows the half-time whistle here at the Broadfield Stadium, and a game that started so brilliantly for Crawley. 2 goals up after 12 minutes, courtesy of Rolls and Shawonmi, sees them go into the break all square, and maybe Lincoln with the slight advantage having worked their way back into it. O'Connor after 19 minutes, and then Mukama after 39 minutes. Give us, Mark, a half-time scoreline of Crawley Town 2, Lincoln City 2. I'm not sure any of us would have predicted that as a half-time score at 5-3.
Absolutely, you would imagine there would have been a goal between them maybe at half-time. Very similar to the first game they played, but it's been really open, both teams really going out to win it, and it could have easily been 3-2 to Lincoln if it wasn't for Eddie Beach, who's just walking off now. That will give them a load of confidence, and the half-time's come at a good time for Crawley. They can restock now and see what you do for the second half, and by all accounts they're going to win 3-2, so hopefully it's going to be a goal in the a goal at this end, but they're shooting the way they want to in the second half.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
and hopefully start the second half the way they started the first half.
Yes, absolutely. They were. Yeah, it was brilliant in the first half. Sort of first 20 minutes with Tyrese John Jules looked really good. Adeyemo, Shawonmi and Rolls, two really well taken goals. Particularly Shawonmi showed a lot of strength to slot home. So yeah, let's hope they can do the same, but then defend a bit better in the after if they do go ahead.
Well, my thanks to Mark for his contributions during the course of the first half. We will be back with you for full match commentary of the second half of this Emirates FA Cup tie. But who says, Phil, that the magic of the FA Cup has gone? We've had a real entertaining first half here at the Broadfield Stadium. We will hand back to you for the half-time sequence for the half-time score of Crawley Town 2, Lincoln City 2.
And the thing about it as well, Gary, is if it stays this way, we have to go to extra time. If it stays this way, we get penalties. We get a result, whatever happens, before 6.
Absolutely, has to be a winner here this afternoon. None of this sort of going into the hat for the third round, but you've still got to win your replay. If you're in the hat for the third round, you're in there because you've won your second round tie. So yeah, fingers crossed. Mark's going out tonight. He's hoping not for extra time to go on, certainly not for a penalty shootout. He wants it done and dusted in 90 minutes. Yeah. So let's see what happens in the second half.
OK, well, we'll see if we can find you a sofa to hide behind if it gets that far as well. Anyway, it's Crawley Lincoln 2-2 at half-time. Wow, what a game. We'll go through all the current half-times in a moment, but first let's look at our games that we're keeping an eye on as well. So, yes, it was Crawley Town, but also in the National League, Woking are in action today. They're playing Yeovil. Tom is there. How's it been? What's it like at half-time?
Not so great for Woking. They're a goal down and a man down as well. Yeovil had the chance to score inside the first 10 minutes through Aaron Jarvis. Lovely ball slipped through to him left side the area, but it was a really good save low down to his left by Woking goalkeeper Will Yaskline. But the big moment came in this first half when Jack Stretton was sent off for Woking on the 18th minute. I was a bit bemused why he was sent off, but apparently, again, my co-commentator Ian's looked at some footage, and apparently there was a raised elbow from Jack Stretton in the box, and that was why he was sent off. But not too long after that send-off, Woking could have been in front. It was a poor clearance from Yeovil goalkeeper Ollie Wright, and he was in no man's land, and Woking Wokin's forward Matt Ward lifted it over his head, but Morgan Williams was there to the rescue to clear off the line. But Yeovil, again, they had plenty of possession. Their dominance did pay off eventually, just over the half-hour mark. Brett McGavin with a volley. Cross came from the left-hand side, and McGavin hit it low with his right foot. Jaskline got a good hand to it, but just couldn't prevent it from going into the back of net. But Woking did have a goal ruled out in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Cross from the right-hand side from Dan Lewis. It found Jamie Andrews inside the box, hit it underneath the goalkeeper, but the flag went up. So Woking, they're still in this game, even though they're a man down. Certainly need the home crowd to try and certainly need something for the home crowd to be lifted by in the second half. It's Woking 0, Yeovil Town 1.
OK, so Woking, a lot to do in the second half. Let us head right now to the Meadowbank Stadium. Dorking Wanderers are playing Truro City in National League South, and Bob Hapworth is keeping an eye on the action. How was it that first half there, Bob?
Well, thanks very much, Phil. No goals here, and I'll also give an update on the other games involving our local sides in National South, and there too there are very little goals, or few goals should I say, to talk about. But here certainly there's no goals at the break in this top of the table clash. A few chances for either side in the opening 45, with Truro's keeper Dan Lavercombe probably the busier of the two stoppers. As early as the 2nd minute, Matt Briggs, Young and Mewett all had shots on goal, but it was Mewett finally that got an effort on goal, the other two being blocked, but it was comfortably caught by Lavercombe. Then a couple of minutes later, a long ball from the Dorking defence from Tony Craig found an unmarked Matt Briggs, but he managed to drag his shot wide. Truro's first chance came after the quarter-hour mark. Cabia and Craig jostling for the ball, but Cabia's effort went sailing over the crossbar. Then a couple of minutes later, their top scorer, Tyler Harvey's effort from the edge of the box went wide and safely away from Harrison Fuchs in the Dorking goal. Then we had to wait quite a few more minutes before, again, Matty Briggs passed from inside the Truro box, found an unmarked Alfie Rutherford, but just as he was about to pull the trigger, he was tackled from 10 yards out to prevent Dorking from taking the lead. And then just before the break, Truro had another good chance. Connor Riley Lowe's close-range effort at the near post, following a pass from the right, but he just couldn't control it enough and managed to put the ball just wide. Certainly Truro's strikers Tyler Harvey and Jays Cabia, who between them have scored 25 of the club's 33 league goals, have in the main been kept quiet by the Dorking backline. So nothing to separate these two after the opening 45. It's Wanderers 0, Tinners 0 at the break. Elsewhere, our local sides, well, they're not faring much better either. The half-time score between Chesham and Eastbourne Borough is also 0-0, as is the Farnborough Chippenham score is also 0-0 at the break, but there have been goals down in Worthing. 2 goals and a sending off, both goals coming from Worthing. Temi Babalola putting them ahead on the 11th minute, then 10 minutes later Mo Fowl made it 2-0, and then 4 minutes before the break, Dylan Kadjay for Weston-super-Mare was shown his second yellow card. So the Weston-super-Mare team are having a bit of a nightmare this afternoon, not only 2 down, but they'll be playing the second half with just 10 men.
Bob, thanks very much indeed. Bob Hapworth keeping an eye on what's going on in National League South. I will give you a sort of hint of that first half between Crawley and Lincoln. That is one heck of a FA Cup tie, I can tell you. But just having a quick look at the other half times in the Premier League, it's either 0-0 or 3-1. We've got Brentford 3, Leicester City 1, Palace goalless with Newcastle, no goals for Forest, Ipswich Town, and then of course the other score is 3-1. It's Bournemouth 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1 at Molineux. So Bournemouth having a very good away game there. England play a little bit later on in the international friendlies for England's women, and England taking on United States. You may recognise the USA's manager there. Now, let's have a look at the Championship. Middlesbrough 3, Hull City 1, Oxford 1, Millwall 1. Those are full times, as is Watford and QPR goalless. The latest at half-time for Blackburn Leeds is 1-0 to Blackburn. It is Bristol City 0, Plymouth 0, Coventry 1, Cardiff 1, Norwich 1, no, I lie. Norwich 2, Luton 1, Preston 0, West Brom 1. It's goalless Stoke City, Burnley, and Portsmouth are 2-1 up at Swansea. In the FA Cup, the other ties, so we've had one earlier on, as we heard earlier on, Wickham 2-0 against Wealdstone. And interesting, I'm just having a quick look at some other scores here. They're all goalless pretty much, apart from Exeter 1, Chesterfield 0, and Accrington Stanley, Swindon is 1-1. And I'm just having a quick look at League Two. Carlisle, that game kicked off earlier and it ended 1-1, as did Fleetwood Town against Colchester. So we have caught up with everything that's going on there. We'll keep an eye on all the other games, as well as the big game, of course. The big game we're keeping an eye on here this afternoon. Crawley, Lincoln in the FA Cup. And do you know what? After 10 minutes, it was looking so good for Crawley.
Here's Ibrahim, plays it to the left-hand side, forces Adeyemu slightly wide, plays it into the box, chance, goal! Brilliant for Crawley! Played across from the left-hand side, Adeyemu danced down to the byline, and he pulled it back for the left foot of Jack Rolls, and Jack Rolls, he scores goals when it's important, and Crawley take the lead courtesy of Rolls' third goal of the season.
3 minutes later,
a little touch off towards Moylan. Shawanmi trying to get on the bounce. It didn't quite break his way first. He gets there now. He slots it home. And Tola Shawanmi, just over 12 minutes played, has put Crawley in absolute dreamland. They pounced on the mistake. It didn't quite break for him first time. But Tola Shawanmi, who got the winning goal at Maidenhead to set Crawley up for this second round tie, has put it home for his third goal of the season. Crawley have a little bit of breathing space, and inside 12 minutes it is Crawley Town 2, Lincoln City 0.
But here's the thing, I blame Gary because he said live on the radio during that commentary, 2-0, a tricky lead, especially if Lincoln get a goal back. Here we go.
Rolls does just about enough, does he, to get it clear. Crawley throw bodies at it. Malarkey tries to dribble it out of trouble, doesn't quite get away with it. Ball played into the box. O'Connor gets the header and it's in the back of the net. And O'Connor halves the deficit. And Malarkey tried to dribble it out of trouble over on that far side and got caught. We've had 3 goals already in this one, but suddenly Lincoln have it. They have themselves a lifeline. O'Connor has the goal for his third goal of the season. They have halved the deficit and it's Crawley 2, Lincoln City 1.
And you remember that lead, 2-0, a tricky lead? It's hard to hold on to.
There's a ball into the box and there's a header, and there is the equalising goal. And it comes from Makama, just a ball in from this right-hand side. And there is the goal that we were talking about that Crawley were trying to avoid. And Lincoln have come from 2 goals down to level this one up. We're just about to hit 39 minutes.
You'll hear all of the second half, and if it stays that way, as I was saying there to Gary and Mark, if it stays that way at full time, it's still 2-2. It goes to extra time. If it stays that way, it goes to the P word, penalties. I hope it doesn't. Me and penalties, I've never got on with them. I really haven't. It's just all too much. Hopefully we can sort it all out. Crawley will do all the hard yards, as it were, and get another goal and take it 3-2, 4-2, 5-2 will be even better. But we'll wait and see. You can hear it all live right here. Just don't go anywhere else. Crawley Town taking on Lincoln City in the FA Cup second round. It's just coming up to 3 minutes past 4. BBC Radio Sussex. Right, there are other sports going on, I can tell you. One of which is a little bit of rugby, yes, because rugby is certainly very much in vogue. It's that time of the year. Yesterday saw arguably Sussex's greatest ever rugby player playing the final match of his career. Joe Marler from Heathfield began at Eastbourne Rugby Club, aged 9. He went on to represent England 95 times, winning 3 Six Nations championships. Played in a World Cup final. Domestically, he's been a one-club man and played his 205th and final match for Harlequins against Bristol Bears last night. So we'll hear from Joe Marler, I am sure, a little later. But let's catch up with all the football, shall we? And see what's going on because, yes, I think we've got a second half on the way with a chance for Crawley Town, perhaps, to make it to the third round at the FA Cup. That would be rather nice. And keeping an eye on Crawley as they take on Lincoln City, it's Gary and Mark.
Thank you, Phil. Yeah, the two sides just making their way out onto the field of play for the second half of this Emirates FA Cup second round tie, and Crawley look very much as if they're going to be making a change right at the start of this second half, because I can see that the number 6 Max Anderson is stripped and ready to come on. We will just wait for the ball to go up from the fourth official to indicate who it is that is going off, but at the break it is all square, 2 goals apiece. If you missed any of the first half action, looks like Gavin Holohan is also coming on to the field of play, so a double change here made by Rob Elliott. We are waiting for the fourth official, as I say, just to put the board up. But if you missed any of the action, Crawley 2 goals ahead after just 13 minutes, courtesy of goals by Rolls and Shawonmi. But then O'Connor with a goal after 19 minutes made it 2-1 to Crawley, and Mukama with a goal after 39 made it 2-2. Well, Bradley Ibrahim's number has been put up, but I don't think that's quite right, because he's on the pitch there. Yeah. Just still sort of kicking around. I don't think that was right at all. But Max Anderson has come onto the field of play. Crawley, all in red, will play from left to right. It is John Jules who's gone off to be replaced by Gavin Holohan, wearing the number 8. But definitely the number 23 that was held up as a change to be made is not going to be right. But Crawley will play left to right in this second period. All in red, of course, this afternoon. Lincoln are in their change kit of all white with a blue and red diagonal stripe going across the shirts. Reminiscent, Mark, if I want to take you back a little bit to a very early 1970s Manchester City kit.
Yes,
if we want to hark back to that slightly. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, I do like that kit actually. It's very good. Quite Peruvian, isn't it? It's like Peruvian national kit.
Well, I think the fourth official is just having a look at the notes that he was handed in terms of who it is. I'm just trying to have a scout around the Crawley side to see who it is that's gone off. It's definitely Anderson and Holohan who've come on wearing the number 6 and the number 8. It was Ibrahim's number. Benjamin Tanimu looks like the player who's not out there at the moment. So Anderson and Holohan replacing Tanimu and Tyrese John Jules. It will be Lincoln who will get the second half off and underway any second now. The referee just making sure that all the substitutions have been made correctly. As for Lincoln, their line-up without any substitutions that they've made at the break has Wickens in goal, Dariqua, Monsma, O'Connor and Rowan as their back four. Arahun, King and Hamilton and Moylan playing around the midfield behind Draper and McCarman. The substitutes that Crawley still have to use are Joe Wallacott as a reserve goalkeeper, Cameron Bragg, Sonny Fish and Rafiq Khalil. And Lincoln have all their substitutes available. Jamie Pardington as their reserve keeper, Adam Jackson, Rico Hackett, Bailey Cadamarteri, JJ McKeon and Conor McGrandles, Dom Jeffries, Tyler Walker and Rob Street. Your referee for this afternoon is Sonny Gill, assisted by Paul Kelly and Daniel Bonnywell, I should say, sorry. And the fourth official is Harry Wager. We are still waiting for the whistle to go. There it goes now. And we are off and underway for the second 45 of this Emirates FA Cup second round tie. Crawley playing from left to right, immediately get a free kick over on that far side for, I think, a handball decision given by the assistant referee over on that far touchline. But elsewhere in the FA Cup, in the games that are being played today in the second round, a full-time result from the early kick-off, Wealdstone 0, Wickham 2, and all these other games were 3 o'clock kick-offs. It's currently Accrington 1, Swindon 1, Exeter 1, Chesterfield 0, Leyton Orient 0, Oldham 1, Peterborough 1, Notts County 2, Salford 2, Cheltenham 0, Stevenage 0, Mansfield 1, Stockport 2, Brackley 0, Walsall 0, Charlton 2. Any other games that kicked off at 3 o'clock are currently goalless, and as I mentioned during the first half, the game between Wimbledon and Dagenham and Redbridge at Plough Lane kicks off at 7:15 this evening. Ball is with Lincoln over on that far side in front of the seated Lincoln fans. Got to say again, Mark, it's not a bad following from the Lincoln fans behind that goal, all the way to our left hand side, and also in the seated area on that left hand side of the east stand opposite where we're commentating from.
Yeah, it's been good to see the away fans, the away crowds this year, isn't it? Yeah, they're making a lot of noise, and they've got a lot to cheer about of those 2 goals to bring them back after 2-0 down. So really good following, and yeah, we're going to see more and more good following this year, aren't we, with the teams coming down? Absolutely, yeah. Busy festive period, of course, coming up for Crawley. I think it's 4 games in the space of about 9 or 10 days. Starting here, of course, on the 23rd as the ball drops for Fish. Oh my gosh! He's absolutely lashed that home from the edge of the penalty area. And inside the opening 2 minutes of the second half, Lincoln have completed the comeback. Crawley won the first ball when the ball came in from the throw-in, but it dropped to Fish just outside the penalty area.
and as it bounced up nicely for him, he absolutely leathered it home, and suddenly Crawley find themselves on the back foot and having to come from behind because Fisher's leathered one in, and it is suddenly Crawley Town 2, Lincoln City 3, Mark.
Yeah, what a finish that is. He's absolutely levered that. He couldn't have hit it any better, and I don't think you can fault anybody there. Beach had no chance with the way he hit that, but the worst possible start for Crawley. I don't know if they could have cleared their lines a bit better there, but yeah, what a finish. A goal to light up any FA Cup tie.
Well, it certainly can't finish 3-2 to Crawley anymore, can it? That some of those people were predicting towards the end of the first half.
4-3, hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Still lots and lots of time to get themselves back into this one, but Ring with an absolutely unstoppable shot from the edge of the area, and Lincoln now striding forward on the edge of the box again, and Makama turns it round the corner, Ring's in there again, gets it square, and a little back heel finds its way into the back of the net, and we haven't even hit 3 minutes gone yet in the second half, and suddenly there is daylight for Lincoln. They have come from 2 goals down, Crawley ahead by 2-0 after 13 minutes, and when that one came into the box, Moylan with a little back heel, he rolled it beyond the goalkeeper Beach, and it just dribbled into the back of the net, and suddenly Crawley have an absolute mountain to climb. Ring with the goal after 47 minutes, and within 60 seconds or so, Moylan has suddenly made it, Mark. Crawley Town 2, Lincoln City 4, and the third round suddenly looks like a very, very distant possibility.
It really does. They really opened up the Crawley defence then. McCamer with a lovely ball to Ring, and I thought the chance had gone. I thought he'd cut it back too far, but it was a lovely bit of initiative from Moylan to back heel home. Yeah, Crawley looked shell-shocked like Lincoln did in the first half, so they're mountain to climb now.
Yeah. Well, Lincoln did it in the first half. Why can't Crawley do it? Yeah. As the ball goes down to the touchline for Shawanmi, tries to pull it back. O'Connor claims that the final touch came off the Crawley man, and indeed the referee agrees with him. But suddenly there is a real mountain to climb, and not too many people, Mark, had even found their seats again from coming back from half time, and they've missed maybe 3 minutes of the second half, and they've missed 2 goals, which unfortunately have both gone the way of the opposition, and Lincoln now look like they very much have control of this Emirates FA Cup second round tie.
They really do, and yeah, no, absolute shell shock. There'll be people thinking it's still 2-2, but they would have heard the cheers hoping it was the Crawley fans, but unfortunately not.
I'm not sure that either Holohan or Anderson, having come on as substitutes at half time, had a touch of the ball, and they're breaking forward again. Makama gets it into the penalty area, no white shirt there to get anywhere near it. Crawley get the chance to clear it up towards the halfway line, taken under control by Rolls, turns it forward, Shawanmi bursting through, can he get his shot away onto his right foot? It's well defended in the end by Montsma, gets it through to Arahun, who tries to play it back. Crawley make an interception, and Holohan seizes on it, just dribbles himself into a little bit of trouble though. Hamilton gets it to Deriqua out towards that far side, but Barker makes the interception, plays it out to that left hand side for Adeyemu, onto the edge of the box for Jack Rolls. His goal now seems a long time ago. Here's Holohan, helps it on one more to this near side for Ibrahim, had a crossing opportunity but elects to go back to Malarkey, into Holohan and back to Ibrahim again here. Rob Elliott and his coaching team very, very animated inside the technical area. It's the worst possible start. It's the worst start to the second half, Mark, than Lincoln made to the start of the first half, really, isn't it? Because it took Crawley 13 minutes to get their 2 goals. It's taken Lincoln about 3 minutes to get their 2 goals at the start of this second half.
It really has, yeah. They were brilliant in the opening 5 minutes of that second half. But Crawley now, this is what they need to do. They need to just settle, control the ball, and here we go.
Here's Rolls, edge of the penalty area. Has to come back into the feet of Malarkey. Plenty of possession here for Crawley without really creating anything at the moment. Plays it back, Ibrahim to Holohan, ball into the box, takes a little touch. Shawanmi can't quite get there. Ball goes out of play. Crawley have their first corner kick of the afternoon. It comes with the clock saying just over 51 minutes played. We will be dipping back into our National League and our National League South action during the course of this second half as well. But we'll see what happens here, because if Crawley can get one back in the next 10 or 15 minutes, Mark, we are really set up for the stereotypical grandstand finish maybe. Rolls has gone across to take the corner on the far side. The red shirt split round about the penalty spot. In it comes. Was there a bit of holding there? Referee says nothing doing. Breaks though for Lincoln, not quite. One back there by Mukana out towards this near side. Malarkey does well to get away from Makama. Tries to break in field, the skipper. In the end, Lincoln make the interception, and it comes here to Makama. He sensibly holds the ball up, plays it back here to Rowan, and Rowan goes back into the feet of goalkeeper Wickens, and the Crawley pressure doesn't really come to anything in the end. But what we were saying at the break, Mark, was we weren't expecting to see the 2 changes that Crawley made. What we were saying was, if they're looking for an attacking change, there's not too many options on the bench, is there? Sonny Fish maybe, but he's sort of unproven at this, at this level.
Absolutely, yeah. There is a lack of options attacking wise, but we've seen Ibrahim come out on the right, where we saw Tanamu come off. So Ibrahim's come out from the centre to the right. So Holohan's gone in the centre, just behind the front, sort of dropped behind him, and Rolls playing in sort of number 10 roles.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Sonny Fish unproven at his level, but this could be his chance.
Maybe. Here come Lincoln again though, down that right hand side. Dariqua picks it up, right hand side of the box, tries to get it in square. Crawley make the interception, but it goes out of play for what will be Lincoln's 5th corner kick of the afternoon. And we'll see what happens from this corner, but you can bet your life now, even though there's a long way to go. We've only played 8 minutes of the second half, 37 minutes of the 45 still to go, but Lincoln will start to sort of slow things down and take their time over any throw-ins or substitutions or anything that they happen to make.
Absolutely, they look dangerous going forward, don't they? Every time they break, you just fear for them now. It's a little bit of Shrewsbury Town vibes in that game.
Yeah, just a little bit. They've taken the corners short. The ball comes into the area. First header is won on this near side by Lincoln. Shooting opportunity. Fell to Makama, who might feel that he should have done a little bit better. So let's get our first update of the second half then from our other 2 featured matches. We'll go first of all to the Laithwaite Community Stadium, where it was goalless last time we were there with Tom Mitchell, but Woking were playing with 10 men against Yeovil Town. Any change in any scoreline, Tom?
It's still Woking 0, Yeovil 1, just over 57 minutes played, and Yeovil having all the territory the second half, unsurprisingly, with obviously the man advantage they had, and probably their best opportunity was a free kick from Brett McGavin into side netting. Also a looping cross from centre-back Finn Cousin-Dawson for the right-hand side. A bit awkward for Jaskline, and thought it was going to loop over him for a split second, but tipped it over the bar. But it's tricky for Woking, being a man down, and they are still a goal down here. 58 minutes played, Woking 0, Yeovil 1.
On this near side, not good news then for Woking. Only 10 men and trailing by 1-0 at home against Yeovil Town. We will drop into the National League South in a little bit anyway, and see if Bob can bring us news of any goals in the game between Dorking and Truro. Here's Ring on this near side, has Rowan there in support for him. Gets it back to the number 23 now, who tries to play it up to the edge of the box. Rolls makes the interception, rolls it forward down this right hand side. Ball played forward into Shawanmi. Couldn't quite get it under control, the big man. Appeals for a handball. Rob Elliott also joins in the appeals from his side out on the pitch, but it comes back in the end to O'Connor, who plays it out to this near side for Rowan, who sort of drove it forward. Ring gets a little touch in field. Ball played forward towards the number 34 Draper. Crawley win it first, and Holohan chases it down and goes right back along the goal line. And actually Beach, I'm not quite sure what happened there, because Beach has picked it up. It was clearly a back pass. The ball went out. Yeah, ball has gone out. I mean, if it's gone out of play, then it's a corner. But
that was bizarre.
Crawley have taken a goal kick. Just clutching at straws at any possible opportunity now, Crawley. Header out towards this near side. Holohan chases it down against Arahan. Arahan goes over under the challenge from the Crawley number 8. And it will be a free kick to the visitors, who lead here by 4-2 suddenly. In a proper, I guess you'd say, sort of pulsating, entertaining FA Cup tie, but sadly for us, Mark, not going the way that we would have liked it at the moment. Here's Hamilton, low drive. Beach has to go down low, push it round the post. It will be another corner kick to the visitors.
He made that look a better shot than I think it was. I don't know. But McKamer looks like some player, doesn't he? He's causing a lot of trouble up top.
Yeah. And it's corner kick number 6.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a minute's applause to remember the life of our former manager, Dermot Drummond.
As the announcement is made for a minute's applause for former Crawley Town boss Dermot Drummond. Big picture of Dermot up on the big screen over on the far side there. I think it was the anniversary of his passing just a few days ago, and the fans all around us in the ground just joining in with the applause, the minute's applause of appreciation. Meanwhile, the corner kick's been taken. Beach has come to get it, breaks for Ring again on the edge of the box. Can they sweep it goalwards? They can. Up and over the top it goes, and it ends up on the roof of the KRL Logistics stand away to our left-hand side. So let's pop back to the Meadowbank Stadium and get an update from Bob Patworth on the game in the National League South between Dorking and Truro. Over to you, Bob.
Thanks very much, Gary. Well, both teams have upped the tempo in their second half, but unfortunately it hasn't resulted in any goals at all. Dorking had a good opportunity in the 54th minute when Matt Briggs fed Jimmy Mewett. He cut inside past his defender, but his goal-bound curling effort had Lavercombe at full stretch to push the ball away. And then just a couple of moments later, Dorking survived a goal-most scramble following a floated free kick in from the right. So we're just past the hour mark. It's still Dorking 0, Truro 0.
Doesn't it, that Crawley was celebrated that Tola Shawonmi goal to put Crawley 2-0 up. That seemed like it was going to set Crawley on the path to get themselves into the third round, but things have definitely taken a turn for the worse since then.
They really have, and yeah, they look a little bit in a bit of disarray. Ibrahim now on the right, Holohan, so Anderson and Kelly playing in the middle, but it don't seem as cohesive as it did in the first half with Ibrahim there. So
no.
Maybe they have to look at changing it again, but yeah, no, it does seem a long time ago now, that Shawonmi goal.
Thanks to Bob for his update. We will dip back into both of those games in the remainder of the second half here at the Broadfield Stadium. That's gone just a little bit subdued now as we've just hit 58 minutes played, and the visitors have a free kick. Rowan dummies it, and then it's pinged in by Moreland up towards that far side. The header down towards the post. Beach has to drop down low to his left-hand side again and push it behind the post for what is going to be corner kick number 7 for the visitors. He's had to make a couple of decent saves in the last couple of minutes, Mark, as well, Eddie Beach, to make sure the score stays at the very least 4-2 to the visitors.
Absolutely, and he's done really well, but the first 2 goals he might have done better with, but the second 2 goals I don't think he had a chance with either. But he's pulled off 3 or 4 really good saves so far today, and especially that double save at the end of the first half.
Yeah. Well, they've taken this corner kick short, have Lincoln over to that far side. Now the ball comes into the box and it's almost a free header, and it goes up and over the top. Crawley just left the Lincoln player totally unmarked in the penalty area. I think it was O'Connor, the skipper, coming in looking for his second goal of the game. Luckily he got his angles wrong this time though, and it just drifted over the top of the crossbar, and Crawley have themselves a goal kick. Don't forget that this coming Monday, Game Changers with Fern Buckley between 6 and 7 includes a feature interview with Paralympics GB Chief Exec David Clark. We hear from Woking-based McLaren Chief Zach Brown and find out more about the Grey Ashes as England's over 60 squads look to battle for glory out in Australia. Crawley have given the ball away again. Lincoln are inside the box, and Beach comes out and spreads himself again to make a decent save, and he bowls it out to this near side. 59.5 on the clock. Crawley 2, Lincoln 4. Here's Ibrahim on this near side, gets away from trouble, goes over under a challenge though. Crawley have themselves a free kick. Tuesday night, don't forget, Albion Unlimited with Johnny and Warren reviewing the Southampton match. Looking ahead to Fulham Albion on Thursday and Leicester against Albion on Sunday. Sports specials on Thursday and Sunday. Radio and online commentary. Fulham versus Albion on Thursday from 7:30 and Albion Leicester from 2 p.m. next Sunday. And then Saturday Sport next Saturday, 7th of December. It is an FA Trophy special, looking at all the featured ties for our local sides, including Woking, Aldershot, Worthing and Eastbourne Borough, and of course updates from the game that is being played here at the Broadfield Stadium between Crawley and Stevenage. The players are just coming over for a little bit of an unscheduled drinks break, I should say.
Yeah, Eddie Beach getting some treatment there. He went down after he cleared the ball there, so he's just come back from a long-term injury, so hopefully it's nothing serious.
Well, Jack says entertaining first 45, Gary. Let's hope it stays the same for the second half, with the winning goal going to the Reds with no extra time or penalties required. This was clearly sent before the second half kicked off, because we now find ourselves with a scoreline of 4-2 to the visitors in the Premier League, though, at the G-Tech Stadium. Brentford 3, Leicester 1, Crystal Palace 0, Newcastle 1 at Selhurst Park, and at City Ground, Nottingham Forest 1, Ipswich 0, and at Molineux, Wolves 1, Bournemouth 3. West Ham against Arsenal is at 5:30. Last night, of course, Brighton 1, Southampton 1 in the Premier League, a point that takes the Seagulls up to the heady heights of second in the table.
Incredible. Yeah, no, they're having a great season, and we could be seeing Europe again next year for them.
Potentially, yeah.
Herzl has done so well, hasn't he?
Yeah. I think it all started when they picked up the win over Crawley. That really sort of kick-started their season.
Absolutely, yeah.
Back in the Carabao Cup.
Indeed.
Thanks for the mention, Gary, says Brant over there in the States. You and Mark doing a very fine job today, looking for Crawley to solidify some defences in the back. This is obviously at half-time as well, because he's looking for a 3-2 victory. Brant and Cranford also says that will change quickly. Watching with Nelly and Precious, hoping for a Crawley turnaround. Here's the ball into the box. Headed away though from the free kick. Malarkey chases it down, just rolls it back, and it works its way to Ibrahim, who plays it out here to Rolls. Will surely just help it on one more down this near side, but Ring comes in and makes the interception, and Adeyemu picks up the ball, and the clock says that we've played 62 minutes here at the Broadfield Stadium, and that dream of being in the hat for the third round tie for Crawley Town is disappearing. They need to get one back sort of in the next 5 or 10 minutes, Mark, don't they, to really give themselves a chance.
Absolutely, and if they can do that, they can do what they did in the first half and get 2 quick goals. Yeah. And then suddenly it's a 4-4 and we've got a hell of a game in our hands. But
crikey.
It looks like Adeyemo's come over to the right and Ibrahim has gone to the centre now as well. So you saw that wasn't working. So
a slight change in the lineup of where people are playing. Made that double change, of course, at half-time. Anderson and Holohan coming on in place of Tanimu and Tyrese John Jules. The ball's on the edge of the box. Shawambi goes over, and Crawley will have a free kick. Right-hand side of the box as they attack it, and I guess you'd have to say, Mark, this is in a fairly dangerous position if they can get the right player on the ball.
Absolutely. We have one thing we haven't seen from Crawley is anyone scoring direct free kicks and that. So hopefully, I don't know who would line up today. Jack Rolls.
I think Rolls.
Put your money on Jack Rolls. Put your money on Jack Rolls. Sorry.
He's got the ball in his hand, so.
Yeah, and he's the only one going there. So.
Yeah. The only other option may well have been Jeremy Kelly.
Yeah.
But
Adeyemo's got his hand on the ball now.
Adeyemu's now taken over the ball from Jack Rolls. Return fixture between these two sides is not until March next year. Lots and lots of football obviously to be played between now and then. Lincoln came here for that league game at the back end of October that Crawley won by 3-0. So 9 goals in the games between these two sides so far this season, one of which has still got just under half an hour or so to play. Crawley free kick. Adeyemu leaves it for Rolls, bends it round, tries to sort of catch the goalkeeper out on his near post. Got his angles a little bit wrong though, Jack Rolls, and it just whistles wide of the post. But the return fixture is on Tuesday the 4th of March, so that's a nice journey for me to look forward to, Mark, on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, that is
up to Sinsellbank.
Crawley have had some good results at Lincoln in the past. Was it Gabriel Joffe's first game in charge they won up there?
I think he was there watching the game, hadn't officially taken over.
That's right.
I think, as I remember, it was still Jimmy Smith and Phil Morace,
that's right,
who were looking after things on a temporary basis. But yeah, Crawley did win that one by 1-0 and do just slightly hold the upper hand in terms of the meetings between the two sides. There's been 5 previous meetings. Crawley have won 3 times, Lincoln have only won once, and there's been 1 draw. This is their first ever meeting in the FA Cup. And as it stands at the moment, it will be Lincoln City who will be in the hat on Monday evening, and they're breaking down the left-hand side of the box, and Ring gets it infield, and Moylan drives it, and it goes up and over the top. And I thought for a second Beach had got just a little bit of a fingertip on that to push it over the crossbar, but the referee obviously not really agreeing with that one, and it goes away for what will be a goal kick as we hit 65 minutes here at the Broadfield Stadium. Don't forget, Crawley are back in action on Tuesday night away at the Valley. Ken and I will be there to bring you full match commentary on that one. I think Mark will be there as well.
I will be,
doing his bits and pieces for one of the local newspapers that he's editor of.
Yeah, looking forward to that game actually. A nice trip to the Valley.
Stevenage come here next Saturday. Tony Vesey and I are with you for full online commentary for that one from around about 10 to 3. All the usual team news, previews and updates though throughout the course of the afternoon on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey. Here's Rowan on this near side, slides it into Arahan, out towards this near side for Ring. He goes back into the feet of Arahan again. Lincoln are just doing exactly the right thing as Arahan breaks forward. I was just going to say, Mark, they're just doing exactly the right thing, just taking the sting out of the game, aren't they? And just sort of knocking it around.
Yeah, they just got to see this game out now, and they do look more threatening go forward, and you fear every time they do break away that they could get another. So but Crawley not lacking that cutting edge up front. So.
Well, if you have just joined us this afternoon, there's a mistake though. Crawley pounced on it. Holohan tried to play it infield to Ibrahim. Ibrahim not quite on the same wavelength though. I'm not quite sure who was more at fault there though, Mark. I mean, you can see what Holohan was trying to do.
I think Ibrahim just didn't read it. He didn't read what he's going to do, because that could have been a great opening. Could have been a bit of a gift for Crawley. Yeah,
could have been, but sadly the 2 red-shirted players not quite on the same wavelength. Here's Monsma, slides it forward down that right-hand side. Barker goes across to try and apply some pressure on Makama. His goal it was that made it 2-2. 6 minutes or so before the break. Here's Hamilton, halfway inside the Crawley half on the right hand side, tries to play a little 1-2. Anderson does just about enough to break it up, gets it back to Beach under a little bit of pressure. The goalkeeper plays it forward towards the halfway line. Shawonmi commits quite an obvious foul to all of us up here at the back of the West Stand. Frustrating though, and like Tony and I said last week, Mark, about Shawonmi, he's a big enough lad, but if the ball gets played through to him to run onto, he doesn't seem to sort of have that pace that you might want your forward to have.
No, absolutely. That's where you want a Will Swan or someone like that just sprinting through. But yeah, he does well to hold up ball. He can knock players off the ball, but he just can't get past them, which is a bit frustrating.
Well, like I mentioned in the first half, he did score the goal at Maidenhead that set up this tie here this afternoon. I mean, Crawley just about scraped through against National League side Maidenhead by 2-1. And he did get the second goal here this afternoon. Lincoln came into this second round tie courtesy of a comprehensive victory away at Chesham United in round 1, where they won by 4-0. And the ball out of play on this near side for what will be a throw to Lincoln. 68 minutes played, 22 minutes to go, so we're over the halfway point of the second half. A little back heel from Makama. Ring gets the ball into the box. Crawley do just about enough to get it away to that far side. Once again though, it's breaks for a white shirt. There seems to be a white shirt always first to any sort of knockdown that comes in, Mark, at the moment, doesn't there? And Hamilton was afforded just too much space there to get the shot away.
Really does, and I think it's just that the start they had to the second half is just giving them so much confidence now. And they are, they just got the edge on Crawley. Crawley still look a little bit shell-shocked from that, that start.
It's if there's no other goals, it's been a game that's ultimately been decided in the first 3 minutes of the second half, really.
Yeah, it really has, yeah.
Adeyemu cuts infield, gets it here into the feet of Holohan. Lincoln still working hard though to close the spaces down. Moylan more than others rushing to try and get the ball off Malarkey. In the end, Crawley have had to go back into their own half. McKenna works it out to that far side. Jack rolls, infield it goes to Ibrahim, spins away from his man, needs to get it out to this near side for Adeyemu, takes the ball on his chest, but then it just bounces out of play, and it will just be a throw. And Crawley are making a change here. They are bringing on Sonny Fish. Shawonmi is coming off and Fish is coming on, and it looks very much as if the visitors are also making a double change here. So Shawonmi got himself a goal, Mark. He's worked very hard. He's got the goal that made it 2-0. Hasn't done anything really wrong this afternoon, just maybe time for a fresh pair of legs to try and worry the Lincoln defence in these closing stages of the game.
Yeah, very much so, and I think obviously again we're thinking about Charlton on Tuesday night, because you'd imagine Shawonmi would start. Maybe a good chance for Sonny Fish here to sort of introduce himself a bit to the Crawley fans, because they have only seen bits and pieces of him.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
And coming on, number 9, Bailey Cadamateri.
Well, Lincoln have made a change. They have taken off Draper, the number 34, and they've brought on Bailey Cadamateri. They're also bringing on Hackett, but one of these fourth officials having a bit of a nightmare with his board at the moment, Mark, isn't he? Had a bit of a struggle at the start of the second half to get the board up correctly for the changes. Hackett is waiting to come on. They are taking off the number 27, Makama. So the two strikers are being removed for Lincoln, and it's Hackett and Cadamateri that are coming on to the field of play. Cadamateri, of course, is a very, very familiar name, of course. He is the son of Danny Cadamateri, the former Everton and Bradford City striker, and is on loan here at Lincoln City from Championship side Sheffield Wednesday. And a player like that with 5 or 6 goals already to his name this season is a great option to be able to bring off the bench, isn't it, just to see the game out?
Yeah, Rob Elliott talked about this. They've got 4 really good strikers, Lincoln, and that's why he thinks they've got such depth in their squad. And if you you just look at the 2 substitutions there, and Fish for Shawonmi, and look who they brought on, so you can see the difference in the depth in squad.
Yeah. Still 4-2, 71 minutes played. We will get an update from our other 2 featured games this afternoon in just a moment, as Crawley get themselves a free kick halfway inside their own half. Played short by Ibrahim to Anderson, but it's a slightly subdued Broadfield Stadium now, it has to be said, Mark, isn't it? Since I think everyone was disappointed at half time, but then within 5 minutes of the start of the second half, even more disappointed at the way things had panned out in that opening 5 minutes.
They really did take the sting out of it, didn't they? The atmosphere, and the result of the game, because you just think they are controlling this now and they are going to go through. But yeah, no, the Crawley fans need to pick it up a little bit. A goal would make it very interesting now, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it certainly would.
Yeah. Is 4-2 a dangerous scoreline if 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline?
Potentially, I guess. Could well be. You know, the next goal, if there is going to be another goal, is vitally important, isn't it? As Ibrahim almost gives it away, does give it away. Hackett breaks away over the halfway line, the substitute. Kadamatri goes one way, Hackett goes for goal down to the left-hand side. Beach has to drop and make the save. Got it away from the danger area, but it is retrieved by Kadamatri. Sent slightly backwards, but he gets it back to Ring, and in the end Lincoln are forced to play back into the feet of O'Connor, halfway inside his own half. Decent save in the end though from Eddie Beach, dropping low to his left hand side. Not only did he make the save, he sort of pushed it away from the danger area too. That's
the key, isn't it? It's not about just making the save, it is about clearing the danger, and he's done that a couple of times so far today. So I think it's been a good showing from Beach. We couldn't do a lot about Ring's stunning strike.
No.
But yeah, no, he's done well, I think.
Draw for the third round is this coming Monday. As it stands at the moment, it is going to be Lincoln City's name in there to see who they draw in the third round. Crawley have a throw over on that far side. Rolls gets it out to that far side. Crawley are happy to just let it drift out of play. Linesman indicated that the throw is going one way, and the referee has overruled him and has given it away of Lincoln.
Bizarre again. There's been a couple of bizarre moments today.
Match attendance sponsored by Slim Chickens is 2,831, which includes a support of 427 Lincoln City fans.
Just confirmation of today's attendance. 2,831 people here to see this one in the Broadfield Stadium this afternoon. I think Monsma was just happy to give it back. Well, surely that needs to be given the other way, doesn't it? That's a foul throw.
Yes, it's a foul throw.
Don't be giving him the opportunity to take it again.
No.
He made an absolute pig's ear of it, and therefore it should be a throw to Crawley, but the referee deems that Lincoln get the opportunity to have a second chance to take the throw. That was a strange one. But 2,831 people here to see it. 427 Lincoln City fans who at the moment are very much enjoying life away to our left-hand side behind that goal of the KRL logistics stand, and also in the seated area opposite us. They look very much like the side who will be in the hat for the draw for the third round tie.
They're not rushing to take this corner either, are they? Look,
no.
Already.
Will be the first time that Lincoln have been in the third round since the 2018-2019 season. I'm not quite sure if that was the year that they got themselves promoted out of the National League. The ball drifts out of play for what will be a goal kick. Crawley haven't been in the third round for 3 years, when of course they famously had that brilliant 6-5 victory away at Torquay, and then won away at Plough Lane in that game that finished 2-1, and then Leeds United came here and lost by 3-0, and then Crawley went to Bournemouth, championship side as they were at the time, Bournemouth, and lost by 2-1. Here's Hamilton halfway inside the Crawley half, into the box it comes. Will it break for Kadamatri? Not quite. Moylan trying to twist and turn on the edge of the box. Crawley do well to make the interception. Can they launch a counter-attack? Not quite. Jack Rolls couldn't quite take the ball with him, and Lincoln in the end play it back to the feet of Wickens, who hammers it forward into the Crawley half. Surely there should be an offside decision there, but nothing given. Well, I thought Kadamatri was coming back from an offside position to then get involved in the game. The ball's been played back to Beach. He hammers it up towards the halfway line. Arahan under no real pressure. Fish comes to try and close it down. Arahan turns, slides it forward. A little layoff out towards this near side. Rowan flicks it infield. It breaks on this left-hand side for Hackett. Hackett just drifts away from Adeyemi, runs towards the edge of the box. And that's a foul on the edge of the penalty area for Crawley Town, who look to take it quickly and have to take it quickly, and they sweep it out towards that far side. And Jeremy Kelly just about keeps it in play over on that left. Everything is away to his right-hand side. He's faced up against Darikwa. Gets it infield to Rolls. Rolls turns, has to go back the other way to get away from Monsma. Ring is over there as well. Two white shirts converging on the white shirt of Jack Rolls, and in the end it's the white shirts who come away with the ball. Play it up towards the edge of the box. Hamilton gets caught on it, ball goes out of play, and it will just be a goal kick. So for one final time before we get the full-time update, let's drop back in at the Laithwaite Stadium. Last time we were there, it was Woking 0, Yeovil Town 1. Woking playing the game with 10 men. Any change in anything to do with the scoreline? Tom Mitchell.
There certainly has been. It's got worse for Woking. 10-man Woking 0, Yeovil Town 2. Cross from the right-hand side from Newblay, and coming at the back post was Yeovil centre-back Finn Cousin-Dawson to tuck it home with his left foot into the bottom corner. And you think that should be that now here at the Layford Community Stadium. 10 minutes to go, Woking 0, Yeovil Town 2.
Thank you, Tom. Not great news then for Woking there this afternoon at the Laithwaite Stadium, trailing by 2-0 at home against Yeovil. Rowan's played the ball back into the feet of Wickham's. We will get one final update from Bob at the Meadowbank Stadium when we next get an opportunity. So the ball is played long into the Crawley half of the field. Barker once again wins the header. Once again though, it's a white shirted player who's first to it, and it's Deriqua who just plays it out to that far side, and they're just going to play keep ball a little bit now, and they have the ability to be able to do that, Mark, don't they? They know that for them the game is done and dusted really. Those 2 goals early on at the start of the second half has really pretty much decided this one in Lincoln's favour.
It has, and they look so in control. They seem to be first at every loose ball.
Yeah, and Moylan slides it through. They're in again inside the penalty area. Roll back here, and Ring puts it up and over the top. Not just over the top of the crossbar, right over the top, the roof of the KRL logistics stand. So let's drop back to Meadowbank and get our final update of the afternoon from Bob Papworth, who is watching Dorking versus Truro.
Yeah, still goalless here at the Meadowbank. Just a moment ago, Truro City had a golden opportunity to take the lead across from the they've been just awarded now a free kick just outside their box. But yeah, they just had an opportunity a moment ago where Oxlade Chamberlain's cross from the byline found Tyler Harvey at the far post. His header down looked as though he's going to go in the goal, but Harrison Fuchs got down low to parry the ball away. So far it's goalless, but dangerous times for both clubs, particularly now with Truro on the offensive just outside the Dorking 18-yard box. It's currently 0-0 with 9 minutes to go.
Lincoln are playing themselves on Tuesday night, so manager Michael Skubala just keeping one eye on the fact, as we've mentioned many times, that Crawley are playing on Tuesday night. Lincoln themselves are also playing, so they're probably resting players now as well, thinking that their afternoon is pretty much done here, and that they've got the result that they need to get themselves into the third round of the Emirates FA Cup. And O'Connor is one of the players who's come off. He's been replaced by Jackson. McKinnon has also come on. Khalil has just also come on for Adeyemu. No goals in that game that Bob Patwell was just telling us about. But when we hand back to the studio at the conclusion of this one, that I hate to be the doom monger, Mark, but looks very much as if it's going to be a game that's done and dusted in 90 minutes. So we will be handing back to the studio as soon as we've wrapped up everything here. And then Phil Kennedy, who's looking after things in the studio this afternoon, will get a full-time update from both Tom at the Laithwaite Stadium for the Woking game and also Bob at the Meadowbank Stadium for Dorking against Truro. And don't forget, between 5 and 6 on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey, there is full-time reaction, not just from this game here, where I will get reaction from Rob Elliott and also one of the players looking back on this one and looking ahead to that trip to the Valley on Tuesday night, but from all of the games this afternoon involving all of our local sides. And as I mentioned before, don't forget the Albion Unlimited podcast on Tuesday evening, where Johnny and Warren reflect on the point last night in the Premier League that has currently put Brighton second in the Premier League table. Crawley have the ball just a few yards inside their own half. We're inside the final 10 minutes of this one. Is it one of those things, Mark, where if Crawley do go out, they get to concentrate on the league? Yes, getting into the third round would have been great. Getting a plum tie would have been great. I mean, Crawley's like they'd have probably got Wickham away or something like that, wouldn't they, in the third round?
But yeah, no, it's a shame that it's and it's a shame it was killed off so early on in that second half.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were, you see the positives. Oh, there we go.
Here's Fish, right hand side of the box, timed his run well to keep himself onside. Plays a little ball into the feet of Holohan. Fish goes over, some appeals for a penalty. Ball into the box by Barker. He's going to break on that left-hand side. Kelly gets the shot away!
What a goal!
Oh my goodness me! Jeremy Kelly has absolutely fired one in. And if you thought that Ring's goal was good at the start of the second half, that one is just as good. Great play by Fish down the right-hand side. The ball sped across the penalty area. It broke for Kelly on the far side. What a grandstand final 10 minutes we may have in the end, Mark, because it is suddenly Crawley Town 3, Lincoln City 4.
Oh, incredible strike. I thought he was going to take it with his left, but he shaped his body to hit it with his right, and he could not have hit it any better. Like you said, Ring struck it well, but Kelly struck it equally well. Bottom right-hand corner, gave the keeper no chance. Yeah, barnstorming last 10 minutes, hopefully.
Well, all to play for. We are in for that stereotypical grandstand finish. The clock says we are just about to hit 82 minutes. 8 minutes of the 90 to go, plus whatever gets added on. Surely not.
Surely not, yes.
Surely not.
Could be Torquay all over again.
Hang on though. Hold on to your hats, Crawley fans, because it is 3-4 in favour of Lincoln. Crawley have that lifeline that they were craving, just as Lincoln got themselves a lifeline towards the end of the first half. Crawley needs to do better than that with possession though. Just to update you on what's going on in the Premier League. Brentford 4, Leicester 1. Crystal Palace 0, Newcastle 1, Forest 1, Ipswich 0, Wolves 2, Bournemouth 4. And at 5:30 it is West Ham against Arsenal. Tomorrow it is Chelsea versus Villa, Man United versus Everton, Tottenham versus Fulham, and a big game at 4 o'clock between two sides called Liverpool and Man City or something or other. I don't know, but
tiny game.
At the moment I would fancy Crawley to beat Manchester City, the way their form is playing out at the present time.
Absolutely.
Right, Crawley 3, Lincoln 4.
Oh, no.
Charlie Barker forward on this near side. Change being made. Taking off the number 12, which is Ring, scorer of the goal that made it 3-2. They are bringing on the number 16. Lincoln City, this is bringing on the number 16.
He's not rushing off again. Fans getting frustrated.
Yeah. Dom Jeffries is the player who is coming on. Jeremy Kelly's goal has suddenly given Crawley a little bit of belief, a little bit of a lifeline. Can they do something with it in these closing stages? The fans behind that goal away to our right hand side will be doing everything they can to will the ball over the line for what will be an incredible comeback to maybe force extra time in this tie. Out to the near side, Barker goes up to try and get something on it. Ball goes out of play for what will be a Lincoln throw, but this is where Crawley, given where the throw is, Mark, this is where Crawley just need to close things in and don't allow Lincoln to try and play out from the position that they're in.
Need to press really high now, really put Lincoln defenders under pressure. They look a little bit shaken by that goal, Lincoln, now. So now it's just turned again. Funny how this game has turned from one way to the other.
Yeah.
After brilliant goals.
Well, if you were watching it as a neutral, you'd be very delighted with it at the moment, wouldn't you? As the ball is played over the top, Barker can't quite get the better of Hackett. The ball breaks for Wickens, who theatrically just drops it and then falls on top of the ball under pressure from Sonny Fish. So Crawley away to Charlton, then at home to Stevenage, then away to Peterborough. Lincoln themselves away to Rotherham, home to Charlton next Saturday at 12:30 before they play Morecambe in the EFL Trophy. Maybe it's not all done and dusted who's going to be in the hat for the third round. 5 minutes of the regulation, 45 to go here at the Broadfield Stadium on this Saturday Sports Soccer Special. Live commentary on this FA Cup second round tie. I've got to be honest, Mark, I wasn't expecting 7 goals. Holohan has been dispossessed by Hackett, running towards the edge of the box on the left hand side, tries to cut in field, trying to dance his way through. 2 red shirts do just about enough. Holohan did well to redeem himself slightly and gets it to Malarkey, who plays it across the edge of the box. But I was expecting a tight game where it might go sort of 2-1 to one or other of the sides, something like that, but certainly wasn't expecting 7 goals.
No, not at all. It's been really open, hasn't it? And
yeah.
I mean, Hackett should have probably shot there rather than trying to dance through the whole defence. But yeah, been an incredibly open game and a proper FA Cup tie, hasn't
Absolutely. Crawley still with time to do something. Malarkey's given it away though. Hackett gets it to Calamatri. Back to Hackett. Just outside the penalty area. Rowan going down his left hand side. Gets it now inside the box. Rowan, is this the moment? Gets it square across the goal. Did it take any sort of touch at all? Hasn't quite gone out of play yet, has it? Linesman, assistant referee, whatever you want to call him, over on that far side indicates that it is only going to be a goal kick. And all the time, I guess, Mark, that the clock is ticking, there is hope for Crawley. It's only got a break for somebody once, hasn't it, inside the penalty area?
Absolutely it has, yeah. I mean, I'd love to see Sonny Fish get a goal and have that FA Cup moment for him, but it will be one split second, one chance, and it's suddenly 4-4.
Yeah. Are you angling for Sonny Fish to get a goal?
Nice. Excellent.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Crawley have it just inside their own half. 86 and a half played. Ball out towards that far side. Kelly gets to it, keeps it under control, gets the deflection off of the Lincoln defender. Ball goes out for what will be Crawley's second corner kick of the afternoon, and those fans away to our right in the Eden Utility stand are going to do everything they can to try and suck this ball over the line for what would be a very, very welcome equaliser. Here comes the corner kick, swung in from that far side, up go the heads. Barker couldn't quite direct it goalwards. The Riqua ends up on the floor. Referee deems there's been some sort of foul in there. Rob Elliott is just being told by the fourth official that he's got to get back inside his own technical area, trying to bark instructions through to his players about where he wants them to be and how he wants them to play in these closing stages. 2.5 minutes of the 90 are left to go. Swindon lead away at Accrington in the FA Cup by 2-1. It's all square between Cambridge and Wigan, 1 apiece. Exeter now 2-0 up at home against Chesterfield. National League Oldham are still winning away at League One Orient by 1-0. Ibrahim almost misses out on the ball, breaks in the midfield area for McKiernan, plays it to Kadamatri. He can't quite get his shot away. Breaks though for a white shirt in the shape of Hamilton, trying to work it onto his left foot. Jabs it to this near side for Rowan, clips it into the box. Ball is headed forward, but it's just straight into the gloves of goalkeeper Beach, who's being urged to get it forward as quickly as he can, but he bowls it out to this near side for Bradley Ibrahim. Over the 88-minute mark, just under 2 minutes of normal time to go, plus whatever gets added on at the end. Hopefully there's about 5 or 6 minutes. We've had a flurry of substitutions in the second half. We've obviously had 3 goals as well. There's normally about 30 seconds added on per goal, as well as the substitutions. We may well see 5 or 6 minutes. There is still time. Crawley have it on that far side. Worked into the feet of Fish. He gets it to Anderson. One of the Lincoln players throws himself to the floor. Wins a free kick for his side. I didn't actually see anything that went on there, Mark, that was anything illegal in terms of the free kick being given. Rolls is just getting a little bit involved with Arahan over on that far side.
I didn't see what sort of happened, but Rolls looks very frustrated by this. Just lost a bit of momentum there, Crawley. They
were trying to break forward on that left-hand side. Just to finish off those scores, Morecambe are leading 1-0 at home against Bradford. It's Peterborough 4, Notts County 2, Salford 2, Cheltenham 0, Stevenage 0, Mansfield 1, Stockport 3, Brackley 1 is a full-time score, and Charlton are 3-0 up away at Walsall. The early kick-off finished Wealdstone 0, Wycombe Wanderers 2, and the late kick-off sees Wimbledon host Dagenham and Redbridge at Plough Lane. Long ball forward from the free kick. Beach is happy just to see it drift behind the goal line for what is going to be a goal kick. Is there going to be one last chance for Crawley? They left it late to get themselves back on level terms at Maidenhead when it broke to Toby Malarkey in stoppage time. And he looks like he's playing as a makeshift striker as well now, Mark, doesn't he?
He has gone up top.
He's come well forward to play alongside Fish. Rolls is up there as well. Here's Malarkey.
You called it.
5 minutes of stoppage time is what we're going to get. Lincoln hold the ball up though. Kadamatri couldn't make the run forward, but Rowan can down the left-hand side. Edge of the penalty area. Pulls it back. Can they turn? They get the shot away. Kadamatri skims it wide of the post. I thought it had taken the deflection. Thought it was going to go out for Lincoln's 9th corner kick of the afternoon. But he just dragged it wide of the post. Bailey Kadamatri can't add to the 5 goals that he's got already this season. Inside stoppage time, 5 minutes of it to be played. We've had 30 seconds of it already. Is there a hero out there somewhere, Mark, in a red shirt?
Let's hope so. Yeah, Toby Malarkey. Can he repeat what he did at Maidenhead?
Yeah. It was a real scramble of a goal that led to his equaliser as Hackett picks up the ball on this left-hand side for Lincoln. Goes down the left-hand side of the box. Mukaina comes across to try and make the challenge. Gets it back here to Rowan. Plays it into the box, but Crawley make the interception. Forward into the feet of Bradley Ibrahim. Just sort of Dawdling on the ball a bit, Bradley Ibrahim. The fans are urging him to get it forward. I think he's just trying to sort of wait and make sure that he picks the right pass. Slid it forward to Fish. Fish had it taken off his toes though, and Arahan gets it into feet, and the referee allows play to go on. And Barker comes away with the ball. I thought he had the whistle to his lips to blow for it. Here's Rolls on this right hand side. He goes over under pressure. Referee says nothing wrong with that one either. And Arahan comes out towards this near side. Crawley win it back though. Holohan to Rolls. Rolls, ball into the box. Headed away, and Hamilton completes the clearance. And Rolls just lets it take one bounce and takes it quickly back to Charlie Barker. Barker plays it into the area. Wickens comes for it just outside his penalty area and grabs it before either Toby Malarkey or Rafiq Khalil coming in from that left-hand side were able to get anywhere near it. And the clock runs down for a few more seconds, and it says that we've got 3 minutes left of stoppage time. And as I mentioned before, when we do wrap up here, whether it's in the 90 minutes or if we do get a goal that takes us in to extra time, we will hand back to the studio. We will get final scores from the games involving Woking and Dorking from this afternoon. But here's Mukaina, long ball forward, headed away by Jackson. Crawley pick it up just inside the centre circle. Holohan trying to escape the attentions of Kadamatari, just manages to play it back to Kelly. His goal giving Crawley a bit of belief after 82 minutes. It stands at 3-4 at the moment. Mukaina clips it up to that left hand side. Will it break for anybody? Khalil keeps it alive on that left hand side, tries to get it into the near post. Nowhere near Fish though, and goalkeeper Wickens is able to just dive on it on his own goal line. We've got 2 minutes to go, Mark. Is there going to be one final opportunity for Crawley to get themselves level and force what has been an incredible, entertaining game into another 30 minutes?
Oh, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? I mean, they just got to keep with Malarkey up the top. They just got to keep getting those balls in there because we know how good he is in the air. So, but I don't know, it just feels like it's not going to happen. But you never know.
No.
Still got a couple of minutes left.
Here's Barker. Just goes long up towards the heart of the Lincoln defence. They win the first header known in the shape of Jackson. Ibrahim nods it forward again. Breaks just outside the box for Malarkey. Tries to play it out here to Rolls. Malarkey goes over. No foul, says the referee, who's made some strange decisions this afternoon for both sides. I'm not just saying he's made strange decisions, but he hasn't given Crawley free kicks. Ball clipped forward by Kelly, but he overhits it and it goes behind the goal. And we have 1 minute and 15 seconds of the 5 minutes to go. Jack Rolls, hands on his knees just on this near side.
He looks shattered.
Yeah, he does. It's been a great effort by Crawley this afternoon, but it looks very much, Mark, as if those 3 minutes at the start of the second half are ultimately going to be the time that decides the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Take those 3 minutes out. Oh, he's been booked. Keeper's been booked. Keeper's been booked for taking his time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they've done really well in long periods, but it was just that first 3 minutes of that second half.
Forward it goes from Wickens. Mukaina tries to get there. Kelly gets on the attempted header forward, out on this right hand side, plays it over Hackett. Rolls gets a touch, gets a second opportunity. Jack Rolls got the ball rolling in this game a long time ago, tried to get it out to this near side. Interception was made though by Rowan, who touches the ball away from Jeremy Kelly. Ibrahim trying to get back, but Rowan's inside the penalty area. Is this the moment? It's a great save by Beach, and then an inadvertent header by Mukaina gets it back to the goalkeeper. Ball breaks on that left hand side. Anderson goes after it, wins himself a free kick. I thought that was the moment they were going to make it 5-3 though, incredibly, Mark.
Absolutely. Eddie Beach, I think he's done himself proud today. He does support us some really good saves, but here we go, this could be the last chance.
We're inside stoppage time at the end of stoppage time. Hammered away by the Lincoln defence. Barker goes after it. Hamilton gets on it, runs out towards that far side, just running the clock down. Barker goes in to make the challenge, keeps the ball in play, manages to shepherd it back into the feet of Beach. Beach comes out to this near side for Kelly. We've gone over the 5 minutes of stoppage time. Kelly plays it up towards that far side. Lincoln win the first ball, and they'll win the second ball as well, and they win the tie because the referee says that is enough for this afternoon. And an incredible game, an incredible FA Cup tie that has swung both ways, eventually goes in favour of the opposition. Crawley raced into a 2-goal lead, courtesy of goals by Rolls after 10 minutes and Shawanmi after 13 minutes. But then after 19 minutes, O'Connor made it 2-1. And then just before half-time on 39 minutes, Mokoma made it 2-2. That was the score at the break. But then early goals in the second half by Ring and by Moylan made it 4-2 to the visitors. Crawley got one back to set up a grandstand finish, courtesy of Jeremy Kelly, that made it 3-4. And unfortunately, that is the way it finished. Try as they might, Crawley couldn't get themselves back on level terms. But if you can get your breath back, Mark, just sum up that game for us.
Oh, I mean, it's incredible. What a start for Crawley. We haven't seen anything like that this season from them, scoring 2 early goals. But they will be frustrated with how they let in those second 2 goals to let Lincoln back in it. But it's that first 3 minutes of that second half. What a strike from Ring, and then a really good finish from Moylan. But Crawley can be proud of that performance, considering you look at the injuries, the squad they put out. There's a lot of people who haven't had a lot of minutes out there. So yeah, a good fight back with Jeremy Kelly again. Another stunning strike from him. But yeah, just fell a bit short, didn't they? And yeah, those 3 minutes at the beginning of the second half. Was it to do with the substitutions that he made at half time? Who knows? But yeah, there's a lot of positives to take out of there. Eddie Beach, I thought, was really good. But yeah, such a shame they're not in that third round hat. Yeah.
Well, the players are just taking the applause of the fans that are still in the ground, as is Rob Elliott, just going across to take the applause of the fans behind that goal away to our right-hand side. 2,831 people here to see this one this afternoon. 427 away fans, and it's the fans from Lincoln who will travel back up the A1 far happier than the Crawley fans who will go back around West Sussex. But I guess, Mark, you talk about positives, and you know, Crawley scored 3 times, and I guess ultimately you score 3 times at home, you shouldn't really be losing the game. But you know, Roll's got a goal, Shawanmi got another goal, Kelly's got an absolute fabulous strike. Yes, there were defensive frailties, and we talked so much, didn't we, early on about the fact that Crawley were keeping clean sheets or only conceding like the odd goal here and there. Lincoln have scored 4 times, but Crawley, they really need to sort of focus more on the positives going to Charlton.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I said, there is a lot of positives to take. I mean, 2 really well-worked goals to open the scoring, and then a stunner from Jeremy Kelly. But yeah, it was a little bit defensive frailties. But Eddie Beach, he pulled off a few good saves there. So there's a lot of confidence there, knowing that if anything happens to Jojo Wollacott again, Eddie Beach is ready to go. But yeah, you've got to take those positives, and you've got to take them to Charlton. I mean, they've had such a good run in November, all those clean sheets. This is an FA Cup tie. Both sides were going out to win it, so it was quite open. But in the league, it's going to be a bit tighter when they come against Charlton and that. And I think the defence should be confident going into that game.
Is it? I know it's an old cliche, but it's time to concentrate on the league. There's no League Cup, there's no EFL Trophy, there's no FA Cup. It is just now League One to focus on. And I guess ultimately at the start of the season, having gained promotion to League One at the back end of last season, the focus had to be on survival in League One, didn't it? They've dragged themselves out of the relegation places. Now that's all they need to concentrate on.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if they survive in League One this year, it's an incredible achievement. Some people I've been talking to are saying it's a bigger achievement than actually getting in the playoffs and getting promoted with the clubs they're playing against, the Birminghams, the Wigans, the Boltons. But yeah, it gives them a chance now to fully focus, because if you get the FA Cup tie away at Tottenham, away at Man City, it takes all the focus away and everybody will be thinking about that. And sometimes league form can be affected by that. So hopefully this will give them a drive now. I mean, it's a really good performance. Lots of goals. It's just 3 minutes. 3 minutes changed the game there. And it'll be great if they can now focus on the league and keep those clean sheets going.
Well, my thanks to Mark for joining me in the commentary box this afternoon, Mark. I hope you've enjoyed your first opportunity to be behind the mic this afternoon.
What a game. I'm glad it wasn't a 0-0 draw.
What a game. You can come back. You can come back every week if you want to.
I enjoyed that. Thank you for having me.
That's all right. Mark and I will nip off to get some reaction. But it was a pulsating game here at the Broadfield Stadium this afternoon, Phil, as we throw back to you in the studio. Sadly, though, Crawley come out on the wrong side of a 7-goal thriller here in West Sussex, and it finishes Crawley Town 3, Lincoln City 4. It is Lincoln who find themselves in the hat for the third round. Final score, Crawley 3, Lincoln 4. Back to you in the studio, Phil.
Wow, what a game that was. Gary, thank you very much indeed. Gary and Mark there. And as Gary is saying, we'll get some reaction from Crawley, I am sure, to that game. Sadly, as Gary mentioned, it turned out not quite the way Crawley were hoping for. So 4-3 defeat for Crawley. But let's head off to the National League as well, see how our team got on there as Woking were taking on Yeovil. Let's get all the reaction from Tom. Tom, how was that one this afternoon for Woking?
Very rough one for Woking. Woking 0, Yeovil Town 2. And really the tone was set the 18th minute when striker Jack Stretton was sent off for an apparent